be here in a few minutes, dear Sodom. Alright, what's up, guys? Hello. We're watching some videos today. I was gonna do a music stream today, but since I missed the last variety stream on YouTube, I was like, fuck it, I'll do it today, and then tomorrow we'll just do a music stream. I don't care, whatever. My fucking schedule. I'm sure you guys don't care, so. I definitely, okay, I didn't want to be rude. Alright, what's up, dudes? Happy Friday. Hopefully, y'all had a good week. Hopefully, y'all are having a start to a good weekend. Do that. Oh, it's so cold today. It's so cold. It's not fun. Okay, so we're starting off with Angry Cops because, well, it's in the title. And I've been wanting to watch this for a minute. Ever since I heard about it. Well, actually, I want to watch this one too. But I need to watch the more recent one. Like, the one about veterans, we need to watch that one. A lot of people were asking me to watch that one. Where's the video? Where's the video about the health insurance dude? Wasn't that Angry Cops? It is. Yeah, Kevin, I can do it. Since I can't find the video that Angry Cops posted about that one health insurance guy that got shot in the face. I could have sworn Angry Cops posted a video about it. Was it? I could have swore it was Angry Cops. No. Oh, I know who it was. I think it was Abbott and Preach that did a video on it, but let me just type it in. Health insurance CEO build. Okay. I don't think any of them made videos on it. I don't know why I thought Angry Cops made a video on this. I could have swore I saw that. But why would he? Or at the very least, donut. But yeah, suspect charged in health insurance CEO killing. Suspect in killing of health insurance CEO charged with murder. Okay, looks like a young guy. Very young guy, like mid-20s. Look at him. Almost looks like Ice Poseidon from this angle. Let's see. His name is Luigi Manny Gione. Born and raised in Maryland. Challenges extradition to New York. This is 3 minutes. Let's just watch a video. Since no one made one that we can watch, we'll do it ourselves. But we're not watching CNN. How could they possibly fuck this up? I don't know, but I'm looking for something recent. Like very recent. That was
Damn, this is a nice knife.
Have a good one. Next, please.
Yes, I have one gator knife.
Okay.
health insurance industry seat. Okay. I wonder if this shows the actual footage.
United Healthcare CEO.
I didn't fucking see anything. Maybe that's the suspect right there. Maybe that's all they showed. NBC's not going to actually show this guy getting killed on camera. I'll find the video elsewhere. Fine.
United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down in New York, and that massive manhunt is still underway for his.
Is that it? I really don't want to hear you speak. I wanted to. Nah, fuck all you assholes. Y'all make me want to do what that guy did to that dude to myself. Pick a different video. Got me fucked up. Is there like a normal person like me that did a video on this that I can watch and not these fucking asshats on TV? Police believe CEO was killed because of a grudge against insurance company. I mean, there was plenty of things. It could have been his wife, man. Has anybody ever looked at that? I know that he got gunned down, but like, I mean, we've heard of like the wife paying, bruh, this guy that I served with, actually, his wife paid someone to kill him when we got back from Afghanistan, and he did kill him, and he went to jail, and then he sung like a canary, and he told on her too, and she went to jail forever too. So, have y'all looked into the wife? Because look at this. He looks like a good-looking young man. Maybe the wife fucking around with him. He's like, let's leave together. Let's be free. Let's be happy, right? And she's like, no, I can't leave because that's where the money is. And he's like, well, we can take care of that. And she's like, okay, but be discreet. We don't know. And I can't find not one video that's not a talking head to break it down. And there's not one video that Law and Crime Network 6 breaking arrests details. Law and Crime Network. Well, it's not CNN, so let's try this one. Colin Noir did a video. That is absolutely perfect. Thank you. That's so much. That's the kind of shit I was looking for. This guy's fantastic. Yeah, hot on video. Now, you know what's one thing that got me about this? is you're the CEO of a health insurance company. Your company turns out billions of dollars every year, right? Most health insurance companies are billion-dollar companies, bro. And if they're not, they're like very high up in the hundreds of millions, right? Even Eminem walks around with security, and that guy just rhymes words. You're a health insurance CEO, bro. I don't know if you really like understand or appreciate the gravity of your kind of job. Your job can help people, but guess what? Your job also fucks people. You might not realize that, or you might not even know that, but your job also fucks people, right? So if Eminem writing raps that anger people has security for himself, why don't you have security? Why are you walking by yourself? No security, no armed security, no none of that. I know we make fun of y'all for that sometimes, but I mean, y'all do it for a reason. Because of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make sense. All right.
A manhunt is underway right now for the gunman who shot and killed the top executive of America's largest private health insurance company.
Oh, yeah, America's largest private health insurance company. That company more than likely makes billions, and you're walking around and about by yourself, knowing good and well that, yes, your company may help people, but on the opposite end of that sword, bro, you fuck thousands. Millions, if not, depending on how many people are on your insurance company. So, you should know this. You really should. You should know the goods and bads about what you're doing so that you can avoid the bads like this. They're so strange. Like, you make decisions and you do things that affect hundreds of thousands, millions of people, right? So, walking around by yourself. He must have thought that, like, he was, like, the best thing in the world, I guess. Like, oh, man, I give people health insurance. I'm doing right. He was probably that oblivious to the opposite side of his industry. He was probably one of those dudes that just saw sunshines and rainbows, or maybe he's just a piece of shit and I'm giving him too much credit and he deserved everything he got. I don't know.
The New York Police Department.
But health insurance companies, I'll tell you what, man, they are not there to give a fuck about you. I can tell you from experience, firsthand. One time I was calling, just inquiring, didn't plan on buying anything, just inquiring about some health insurance, right? And then I call, and this dude gets on the phone with me, and he starts asking me questions, and I'm just like, well, I'm just trying to figure some stuff out. So like, tell me about this. And I was like, okay, and then tell me about this, and then tell me about this, like. Okay, well, I just need more time, dude. Like, I need to compare with, like, some other ones, and, like, I'm just looking right now. And before I could even finish my sentence, you know what he did? He hung up on me. He hung up on me. I was calling about health insurance, and he hung up on me because I did not want to pay money right there and then. Right there and then. He was like, oh, this one's a lost cause. You don't want to buy, you don't want to pay, you don't want to do this. Click, on to the next one. That's how they operate. And that wasn't even the CEO. That was someone on the phone. So, hey man, shit happens. And so you get what you get. I don't know.
Department says he was targeted in a pre-planned attack. NBC News has obtained surveillance video of the moment of the shooting.
So, since no one's going to say it, I'm just going to go ahead and say it myself. If this United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, had been carrying a gun, it's probable he still could be alive today. Look, anyone who's seen the video can...
Yeah, but I'm more along the lines of, like, security. Really. People like that don't have to carry guns. Because they're so rich. They're so rich. They don't have to shoot you. They got people to do that. That's what baffles me about it. Yeah, had he had a gun, maybe. But from the footage that I looked at, it looks like he got shot from behind. I haven't seen the footage yet, but I saw a still shot of it.
See that the shooter's gun jammed like 4 or 5 times.
After he strikes Thompson the first time, the gun actually jams, and then he resolves it and keeps going. That could be evidence of the fact this was a proficient and perhaps professional killer.
And between the...
Professional killers don't have their guns jam, my man. Jesus Christ. Man, way to sensationalize that shit. Jesus. Just giving all kinds of credit to this 26-year-old kid that probably didn't have much more thought than I do when it comes to killing somebody. Professional hitman. Just like making this guy seem like a rock star already. Come on, dude. See, that's why people hate y'all in mainstream. Like, if you were a professional, your weapon wouldn't jam. You're a professional in this sense, your weapon won't jam. I get if you're in combat and some shit happens, dirt, mud, all this shit. But if your main goal is to eliminate someone in a very, very decent setting, your weapon should not jam. Sorry, I don't, like, shut up. Be quiet. You're an idiot. That's why, see, that's why I can't wait till y'all go under as like an organization, mainstream media.
Each shot, the guy had to rack the slide. That's a lot of time in a life or death situation. If Thompson had been armed, he could have drawn his own gun, returned fire, and likely stopped the threat.
We've stopped it before the first shot is fired, and we're only going to show you this once. Some viewers may find it disturbing. It shows United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson wearing that blue jacket, walking into frame. The shooter appears behind him, draws his gun, pulls the trigger, shooting multiple times.
Surveillance images.
Okay, I'm sorry, Colin, but it don't matter if he had a gun. Really. It doesn't. You know what would have helped him in this situation? Security. Bodyguards. People that you pay to literally die for you. That's what it is. No one likes to say it like that because it sounds gross when you say it like that. But you're literally paying people to die for you. That's so... If you have a gun in this situation, you die either way, bro. You got shot in the back from behind, and you didn't even realize anyone was behind you. I understand that sometimes you have to have 360-degree awareness, and it's imperative, and I do the same thing, but sometimes I catch myself slipping, and I just don't look behind me. I be walking, and I just walk. I look left, I look right. I can see my peripherals, but lots of times I'm not always turning around. I'm not always looking behind me. I'm not that paranoid of a person. But if I just straight up didn't hear somebody, and this looks like a sidewalk in public, he probably didn't even hear the footsteps. You know, you walking down a dark alley by yourself, you might hear some footsteps behind you or someone sprinting up on you. You ever heard those footsteps of someone running up on you? Yeah, very, very, very pronounced, right? Here, it was like a casual walk, so this guy dies either way, whether he has a gun. I don't know. I don't see that. Maybe he gets shot a couple times and can reach his weapon while he's injured and going down and pop off a couple rounds like that, but that seems so fatal right off rip. Just
Released by the NYPD
John, what's good?
show the gunman getting away from the scene on an electric bicycle. This all unfolded shortly before 7 this morning. The shooting scene is just blocks away from where we are at Rockefeller Plaza, which is hosting the Rockefeller tree lighting ceremony tonight.
An electric bicycle. By looking at the weapon, I feel like he has a suppressor on that handgun. So not only, bro, that's what it looks like to me. He has a suppressor on that handgun, and he uses the handgun and then promptly hops onto an electric bike. This was the most stealth assassination, killing, murder that I think I've seen in a long ass time, guys. Like, this is some fucking new DLC hit the Hitman game, and they introduced an electronic bike. 0 sound. No one will hear you coming, and no one will hear you leaving. Emissions free for all of you global warming fanatics. Oh man, yeah, he dies either way here, bro. There's no way.
Surveillance images released by the NYPD show the gunman getting away from the scene on an electric bicycle. This all unfolded shortly before 7 this morning. The shooting scene is just blocks away from where we are at Rockefeller Plaza, which is hosting the Rockefeller tree lighting ceremony tonight. Police said the suspect was last seen heading into Central Park.
Now,
what is the best way to lose this central obesity? Some people call it belly fat.
I'm gonna drink lime and ginger water every morning to lose weight.
Okay, any other ideas?
Yeah, you got plastic surgery, girl. Shut up.
you could beg the question, he got shot in his back and he got shot in his calf. So maybe not.
I don't know how he doesn't get shot in the head. What is up with people being like 2 to 3 feet away, sometimes even point blank, and you still can't even hit the most vital part of the body to completely end that person's life in an instant? I can understand if, like, you're across the street and you don't hit a headshot. But dog, if I'm standing that far away from you and you don't see me, it's going in your head. Not your back, not your calf, not your ankle, not your ass cheek. Go. That's crazy. Like, it's not even the first instance of someone not even being that far away and not hitting a critical part of the body.
But still, he's gun malfunctioned 4 or 5 times.
Gun actually jams?
I'm just saying, carry a gun. At bare minimum, he would have got a couple of hits on the guy shooting at him, and we would have a lot more information than what we have right now.
This all starting at about 6:45 this morning. That's when law enforcement...
Yeah, but Colin, I understand this. You understand this. But you're expecting someone who, I believe, doesn't have any experience with weapons, doesn't know shit about weapons, wouldn't know what to do if he had one. Like, and maybe if he takes all of your courses and he does all of the gun safety, which he can, but still, at the end of the day, you have to think about this, man. You are walking, minding your own business. You're not thinking anything crazy, and then all of a sudden, you get 2 bullets to your back. Even if you had a gun, and even if you had experience, and even if you knew exactly what to do in that situation and handle that situation, I've seen even the most poised people blink. I've seen even the most poised people just blank in a situation like that. So sometimes the situation is just like so insane and so daunting and so mentally traumatic in the moment that you just may forget everything and anything that you can do. And especially when you're caught off guard like that. You're caught off guard like that, you can't think of anything, really. It's one thing if someone shoots at you and you're like, oh shit, I better return fire. And then you start going through those things in your head, right? But like, to go through all of that in your head and respond accordingly at the drop of a hat, once you get 2 in the back, 1 in the leg, and you're on the ground, like, not knowing what's happening, you still haven't even identified your suspect. Lots of times people get shot, they don't even know what direction they got shot from. All they know is they just felt a stinging pain. So to him, the person could be over there in front of him or over here in front of him, when in fact the person is behind him. So I'm just saying, from
Right now.
This all starting at about 6:45 this morning. That's when law enforcement said that the shooter was essentially on the sidewalk but hiding, and then came out as Brian Thompson, 50 years old, CEO of the largest private insurer in the country, at least the insurance arm of the company, and was gunned down. What is so sort of unsettling about this video, among other things, is the fact that you will see the shooter walk up, right? We freeze it when he fires the gun. But then there's a woman that's in the corner, you can see earlier in the shot.
I saw that. I saw people standing by and they didn't even do anything. They didn't even move. They didn't even flinch. And I mean, what do you say about those people? Not really much to say. Dude walked up with a gun and started shooting. Or at the very least, he walked up with a gun and started aiming it. Yeah, dude, I don't really. And at the angle that they were at, had they wanted to stop this guy, they would have had to get in between the CEO and his weapon. At the time, they probably didn't know that that guy was the health insurance CEO. But again, I'm still not putting my life on the line for a health insurance CEO. I'll be right back. My niece. Okay. Oh, I gotta leave my door open. Gotta leave my door open just in case my niece comes in. Or just in case she needs something, I can hear her. But yeah, I was gonna say that those people didn't even flinch. I don't know. I don't know if I'd like. Maybe they were just as surprised and they were just like frozen. Really. Probably just petrified in fear or frozen solid or just like, I don't really know what to do. I feel like if I move, he might shoot me too, type thing. But at the same time, his weapon jammed 5 times. That's enough of an opportunity to just like, I don't know, bum rush this fucker and tackle him to the ground, kick the gun away, keep his ass subdued until cops get there. But it's New York, so I don't know. People there are probably just used to seeing this shit. Like, whatever. Take him to the hospital.
That is just standing there in the doorway.
No. She's been here, but
And so the shooter approaches and clearly goes and guns down Thompson, shoots him in the back, and there's a woman wondering if she's going to be shot. And then she just kind of staggers away and then runs away. He had no intention of killing her, which perhaps...
Oh, yeah, so she was kind of... I don't really blame her, bro, because what is she gonna do?
Speaks...
And let me ask y'all a question. That female that was just standing idly by and she saw this happen was like, oh shit, take off, let's run. First off, good job. That's what you do. Second off, if she did have a gun and she chose to be what is, in my opinion, a fantastic Samaritan and draw that weapon on this guy and put him down in the midst of his action, she doesn't go to jail, right? I would love to believe that she wouldn't. Even if it resulted in this guy's death. That's what guns are for. My opinion. Not just are they for personal safety, but for the protection of other people. This situation, you see this shit, and he doesn't even see you. You drop him, and then when the police get there, they'll be like, what happened? You shot that guy. His gun jammed, so I pulled out my gun, and I shot him. Because I didn't want him shooting anybody else. Okay. All right, well. Just need your statement, some sworn statement, some testimony, blah, blah, and should be good to go. You talk to whenever, right? Yeah, well, yeah. California, you'd probably go to jail, yeah. But, Your Honor, I was saving that child from getting brutalized by 5 grown men. It doesn't matter. 50 years for you. Okay. Never gonna do another good goddamn deed again.
The narrative, the police are saying that this was a targeted attack.
Ever wonder?
Of course it was a targeted attack. I don't. Every attack is a targeted attack. What does that even? That's why it's called. That's the whole definition of attack.
What wild plant can provide a complete meal and
was a lifesaver during...
What you need to skip the whole targeted bullshit and get to why. Why was it a targeted attack? Why was it an attack to begin with? That's what people want to know. I don't give a fuck about the other specifics. Homie's dead. He got fucking blasted. How many more times can you say that in a different way? Why?
tough times.
If you're on a walk and stumble upon cattails, remember the...
And here's something else that stands out. This happened in New York, where suppressors are illegal. Yet somehow this guy managed to get his hands on one. I'm not saying that to call for more laws. I'm saying it to point out how useless these existing laws are.
Well, on top of that, you can just go out of state, buy your suppressor, and then come back into the state, right? The law says you can't have it, but doesn't mean you can't go somewhere else and buy it, so, yeah.
This is the type of situation that proves criminals will find a way to get whatever they want. Gun-free zones didn't stop them.
I didn't really think that needed an example, since we've seen so many already, but, yeah, we're talking about the dumb morons of New York, so... Guess y'all need it to be broken down one more time, huh? Well, here you go. Here you go. I wonder what y'all are gonna do with this now. Probably fucking nothing. Probably stay down the same stupid-ass path y'all are going. That's fine with me. I'll never live in your garbage state.
Suppressor bans didn't stop him. He still managed to pull this off, and no law was going to stop that. What's wild is that this guy didn't even know his suppressor and ammo wouldn't work with his gun. He turned it into what was basically a one-shot bolt-action handgun. If he had actually tested this setup beforehand, he would have known it wasn't going to run. And yet, despite all of that...
Oh, really? That seemed like... I assumed he knew what he was doing. I don't know.
He still managed to...
But to call him a professional like that one cocksucker at the very beginning did, that one talking head... I can't stand the news, bro.
Rack that slide and fire multiple times before taking off on a city bike in New York City. In broad daylight. Or broad nightlight. Whatever you want to call it.
Of course, this all also happened in the middle of Midtown Manhattan. It's a busy holiday season, security everywhere. We have the tree lighting tonight here at Rockefeller Plaza. What are officials doing to keep us safe?
They say that the entire area is saturated with detectives, counterterrorism police officers, beat cops who are out there on the streets, that there's plenty of protection and eyes out on everything, and they don't seem to be alarmed at all.
How is this?
Don, thank you so much for the 5. Happy Friday, man. It's been a while since I've seen you. I hope you're having a good month. Because I think that's how long it's been since I've seen you. And, yo, Wolf Warrior, what's going on, man? How are you?
Even possible in a city with some of the strictest gun laws in the country, with the most police officers walking the street in the country. And where was the protection for this guy? This man was the CEO of a massive corporation, yet he had no armed security with him? How does that make sense?
Even Iron Man had security. Happy Hogan. Even Iron Man had a security guard. And he's Iron Man. You were the one dude that, like, 80% of people hate by default. A fucking health insurance CEO. People just naturally don't fucking like your kind. You walking around willy-nilly, no friends, no security, no homeboys, no nothing. Good God, man, what if you would have had one of your children with you? What if your wife would have been with you and she caught it? Like, maybe you don't give a fuck about your safety, but what about your children? If anybody learns who your children are, and it's this guy, he could seek out your children. And what are your children doing? Your children not have security? Does your wife not have security? I don't understand this. I don't understand how you can be so ignorant.
The fact that he was left vulnerable like this blows my mind, but it also highlights something very crucial. No matter how much money you have, no matter how many police are around, if someone decides to target you, they can get to you. Maybe this guy thought he couldn't be touched, but he got touched 4 or 5 times. Well, actually twice. But let's talk about what's going to happen next, because I can already see it coming. New York is going to use this incident to push for even more restrictions on suppressors. I know the anti-gun lobby is probably going to do the same.
The suppressor actually hindered him here. The suppressor, I think, is the reason why that weapon jammed. And what benefits does a suppressor add? Does a suppressor kill you better? Does a suppressor kill you faster? No. The bullet does. And it doesn't matter if it's loud or not that audible. You still die from whatever comes out of that weapon, whether it has a suppressor or any other attachment. I don't understand the logic on why y'all want to get rid of suppressors so badly, but it doesn't make any sense because y'all are fucking retarded. Really. And y'all can't make it make sense. The only thing y'all do is reiterate all of the dumb brain-dead nonsense that has already been reiterated about this fucking topic. And it didn't make sense back then, it doesn't make fucking sense now, and it doesn't matter how many times you say it, you can't make it be true. Stupid. What are the pros and cons of this? Like, he had a suppressor, and because he had a suppressor, he killed 27 more people. It doesn't work like that! You fucking idiots! But don't mind me. I'm just a racist know-nothing bigot from the South. I don't know anything about this stuff.
Probably on the federal level, too, they'll try to push it. They'll claim suppressors are too dangerous and that no one was able to hear the shot and come to the guy's rescue and some nonsense like that. And try to use this as proof as to why we need to crack down even harder with more gun control laws. It's predictable at this point. Never mind the fact that the suppressor didn't even work properly. Well, it kind of did, but the gun didn't work properly. You get the point. The narrative is all that matters to them. And can we talk about the timing here? Right when we're finally in a position to get suppressors taken off of the NFA, this happens. A high-profile crime with a suppressor in one of the most anti-gun states in the country. I'm not usually a conspiracy theory guy, but even I'm breaking out my tinfoil hat on this one. The timing is just way too damn convenient. And let's not ignore the fact that this was clearly a hit. The only question...
I mean... that could be the case, but do you know how many people say that all the time about every shooting? Colin, what you just said, people said the very same thing about the Las Vegas shooter. Remember? At that concert, killed like 54 people. People said the same shit about that guy. And while you may be right, I'm just not a fan of really saying that all that much or even using that train of thought all that much because it's used too often for just about everything. And not everything is the case like that. So maybe not. I don't know. I'm take that one with a grain of salt for the most part. It's a lot of effort involved, but I don't know. I wonder if they've interviewed this guy, figure out motive. Like, whenever I first heard that a health insurance CEO was murdered, my very first thought was, okay, well, the shooter probably had a mother, a brother, a sister, a daughter, a son, a grandfather, or a grandmother, or a cousin, or an uncle that needed help from this health insurance company, and this health insurance company told them to go fuck themselves, and they died, and now he is going to take revenge on this person. That was the first thought that came into my mind. Because this is like... makes sense, right? Perfect motive, perfect reasoning. It would make sense. And then my other thought was maybe his wife paid this guy to do it. Get that insurance money, no pun intended. Who knows? But for all you morons, suppressors don't help you kill shit faster or better or any of the sort. And this whole excuse of, oh, no one heard the shot, so we couldn't give him aid fast enough. Bitch, there's been plenty of people that have gotten shot, people heard the shot, and aid still didn't get there fast enough. So shut the fuck up. Please. Your logic sucks, and it's stupid. And you're embarrassing all of us.
The question is, why? Was it someone mad about insurance coverage, or is this something deeper? Either way, the sheer sloppiness of the execution, pun intended, is baffling. The shooter didn't even bother to test his setup beforehand, yet he still got away, biking off like he just finished a casual errand.
Dude, it's been the year of the casual assassinator. Most assassins, they're like hardcore into what they do. The assassins that we've gotten lately have been just casual players. They're not hardcore, they're not in it, bro. They're just casual. Like, take the dude that tried to assassinate Trump. That dude had the worst rifle imaginable, with the worst scope imaginable, with one of the best positions imaginable, and no one saw him till the last moment. He actually got shot off. And people that inspected his weapon, they were like, I can't believe he actually almost hit him to begin with. This
That says a lot about how unprepared the system is to handle this type of situation. And yet these same type of people want to tell us that we shouldn't have guns to protect ourselves. So here's the bottom line. Gun control doesn't work. Laws don't stop criminals, and the government isn't going to be there to protect you when it counts. If Brian Thompson had been armed, this could have probably ended differently. That's what the Second Amendment is about, protecting yourself.
And if someone else around him would have been armed, maybe they could have rectified that situation for the CEO right here. And I know y'all have seen it. Whenever a civilian steps in to help. I know y'all have seen it. I've seen it. I've seen civilians step in to help police officers in a firefight. And you know what the police officers did? They accepted the help. Because in that moment, it's either, man, this guy helps me and we fucking kill him together, or I die here, right? I've seen civilians do that. They step in to help cops. They step in to help other people that are about to die, right? And, yeah, New York doesn't believe no one should have guns. If it's your day, it's your day, and there's nothing you should be able to do or say about it. If you're supposed to die, you die. Someone breaks into your house, just let them have all your shit. Someone breaks into your house with every intent to kill you, well then I guess that was your time. Fuck that logic, and fuck you for having that logic, and you're a fuckboy for having that logic. You're a weak piece of shit. I don't like that logic. We can't be friends. Fuck off my channel too. You're embarrassing me by your presence. So lame.
When no one else can or will. So, let me know what you guys think. Is this some big type of conspiracy? Or do you think this is just some rogue insurance premium anger?
You know what? It could have been a rival company. It is the private sector. It could have been a private company. Or it could have been another company. This is one of the largest private healthcare companies in America. But I guarantee they're not the only private healthcare company in America. So what if this was just a matter of competition? I feel like it'll still be the number one health insurance company even with the CEO dead. The CEO just gets replaced and the machine still runs as it used to run. I don't think anything will change. Maybe they dip a couple points in the stock market. Who cares? Maybe it was a rival insurance thing. Damn it. Yes, Vince, I know of your request. I'm gonna do Kevin's first. Okay. Let me see what the comments say.
Type situation where he wanted to kill the guy he felt was responsible for not covering his claim.
That's what I thought.
But either way, let me know what you think in the comments.
That's what I thought. And when it comes to private health insurance, I mean, you basically are at the mercy of them. Really. I don't really know the differences between a non-private and a private health insurance company, but you go with private. There is no negotiating with these fucking people, I don't think. So I gave all my theories. He's either crazy and just wanted to kill someone, but fuck killing a random nobody, because then you kill a random nobody, only like, I don't know, maybe like a small number of people will hear about it, and people die every day. And in New York, a random person dying wouldn't even raise any eyebrows or anything. They'd be like, all right, cool, I gotta go to work. But a health insurance CEO, that'll give you a lot of attention. Sometimes people that go out and do heinous shit, they just want a lot of attention. Those two Columbine boys, they just wanted a whole bunch of attention. The dude that shot up that nightclub, that gay nightclub in Florida, just wanted a whole bunch of attention, man. They want attention. They want to compete with one another. Like, oh, well, that guy got 36 kills in that little fucking high school. I'm gonna go get 40. Oh, that guy got 40. I'm gonna go get 54. Oh, that guy got 54. I'm about to be the new king of this shit. They're gonna talk about me for decades. A lot of people, they want to do that, and sometimes they engage in logic like that. Or it could have been the wife. Or it could have been another company. Or it could have been because this guy was either denied coverage for himself or coverage from a family member, and that family member perished. Those are my only theories, really. I don't really know. Here's the comments. Why didn't the gun-free zone sign stop him? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It really should have. It should have stopped the bullets and everything. I think the gun-free zone sign is actually what caused the weapon to malfunction. Trickster, I think. Matter of fact. Who would have known? The signs actually work. That's crazy. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. Sorry, I lost my place in the Discord. I can't again. Alright, I'm actually going to do yours first, Vince, and then I'll get to yours, Kevin, because this one's a patron request. God damn it. You know what, actually? I'd give this to one of you guys if I could. Not even feeling that. But bro, this right here. That is my go-to for McDonald's. And I will be in the bathroom later. It's not even gonna be fun. I can already feel my stomach doing its thing. Like, get ready, motherfucker. Tonight is gonna be wild. What's doing? Okay. Unsubscribe clips. Soldiers talk military experiences and war stories featuring habitual line crosser. All right. Oh, Kevin, for like a while there, that was my go-to, the fillet of fish, because I've never really been that much of a fan of like Captain D's or stuff like that. So I remember when the fillet of fish was first released at McDonald's, and I tried it and I was like, oh, this is so good. And then I went back to McDonald's like, I don't know, a couple days, maybe a week later, and I got it again. I was like, oh, this is so good. And then like a month went by and I went back to McDonald's and got me another one and I ate it. And then that night, I spent the entire night puking. And I never had that sandwich again. Maybe it was just that individual sandwich and it's not all of them, but bro, nope. If it ever at any point makes me puke, I'll never do it again for the rest of my life. Spicy chicken on the dollar menu. I mean, my go-to is the dollar menu, period, but the double quarter pounder is so good. And I just get I shouldn't have even gotten the fries, to be completely honest with you. I should have just gotten the burger and the drink, but it's already expensive. Might as well get the fries too. I remember back in the day, it used to be cheaper if you just got the sandwich and a drink, or if you just got the sandwich, period, which was just called an entree. And you'd pay more if you wanted the meal. These days, there's not much difference between just the entree and the drink and no extra shit, so. Oh yeah, we should watch that, Noelani. I'm down. I'm looking forward to that too. Well, I don't go to McDonald's ever. It's just like my aunt was just here and she dropped off some McDonald's. I'm not eating any more Zaxby's for a little while. I always eat here, bro. I'm always my daily diet is like rice and beans, and I eat a lot of hard-boiled eggs. I like to. Ramen noodles. I love ramen noodles. And not just because I'm poor, but because I just genuinely love ramen noodles. I don't know about you guys, but I could have a $100 bill in my wallet right now. I'd still eat ramen. I wouldn't go buy any food. Love ramen. And I don't know, man. I just get stuck on the same shit. And I don't mind it. Like, I'm the kind of person where, like, when food, like, I'll eat leftovers for 5 straight days. Not gonna throw it away. I'm not gonna let it go bad. I'm not gonna feed it to the dog. No, bro. I eat a lot of leftovers. So whenever get food, I'll just eat the same shit for 4 or 5 days. It doesn't bother me. I know that probably would bother some people, but it doesn't bother me. Speaking of military experiences, bro, when I was in the military, I ate MREs every day for a month. A month. You know what that did to my stomach? It didn't do very good things. But that's what it was. So once I start eating something, it just becomes very easy for me to just continue to eat that one thing and only that one thing all the time. It doesn't bother me. Granted, I couldn't eat macaroni and cheese every day. I love macaroni and cheese, but I can't eat that every day. There's no way.
No matter what type of severe asthma you have, Tespire can help you have fewer attacks and relieve your...
And like rice and beans, which is what I've been eating since I was in the womb. I could probably eat it every day for the rest of my life and it wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't get tired of it. It'd be great. And I'm almost pretty sure that I got taken off formula and the tits early, and they just started giving me rice and beans. You really need fucking teeth to chew rice or beans. So, I think they were like, fuck it. Put them on the chow now, early. I didn't mind. It was great. Apparently Domino's has a 5 cheese mac and cheese. I don't know about the mac and cheese, but the 5 cheese, it's like 5 layers of cheese pizza. I've had that before. It's so good. I don't know about the mac and cheese, but all right.
Anyone ever studied Operation Anaconda?
No.
So Operation Anaconda was the first major engagement between U.S. forces and the Taliban in Afghanistan. This was after, of course, the 12 strong.
Yeah. 12 strong.
So
also
they,
wild fucking
Yeah,
story.
they figured out that like a bunch of Al Qaeda and Taliban were in the Shaikat River Valley, and that leads directly into Pakistan. So their goal was, it was like a hammer and anvil tactic. Is the Afghan army was supposed to cut them off from one direction.
Oh, dude. Mysterious. A New York strip, loaded mashed potatoes with bacon and asparagus. That's the one. Or rice and beans. Because, again, since birth, guys. Since birth.
And the Americans were supposed to push into them and just kill everybody so they couldn't fucking escape. They thought there was like 200 Taliban in the valley. Turns out there was like 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
And they had like artillery and mortars. They had a lot of... So the 10th Mountain
I think that we watched a video on the story that he's telling.
lands in and just starts getting hit like from all directions. The Afghans, being the Afghans, abandoned the mission because they're cowards.
Duh.
Sorry, I'm just gonna call
They
space
are
and
cowards.
It's really weird. You see any other military in history experience something like that, they're like, we need to evac, we need to get the fuck out of here now. And the 10th Mountain was like, we're digging in and we're gonna kill them. They dropped so much ordnance, the topography of the Shaikat River Valley changed. Like 200 missions a day for 17 days straight.
That was in one of the documentaries.
And 10th Mountain, they come out of... Doesn't 10th Mountain come out of Fort Drum? I can't remember. Maybe it's... I can't remember. I could Google it, but later.
Wasn't it? I believe.
I don't know if Operation Anaconda was in one.
I don't remember.
Just updating a topography map. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, those don't go as high.
Yeah.
There's also new craters every.
If I was in charge of upgrading the topography for maps, I would never do Afghanistan because who actually cares? Right? Does anyone actually give a fuck if that place changes geographically? Or topographically? No, not really. There's no point in updating that map. It's useless. Just like it's military.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You're dropping like 500-pound.
Like, when we went over there, I feel like their military would have been more useful had we taken their military and then sent them to a completely different part of the world until we were done. They would have been more helpful in Hawaii than in Afghanistan. ANA would have been more helpful in, I don't know, helping the Australians drink the rest of the world's beer. Than in Afghanistan. The ANA would have been more useful, I don't know, playing lifeguard to a whole bunch of dumbass kids somewhere in America than doing anything that we were doing because it was just... They made me feel like a god. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say, bro. I know a lot of us, when we come back from deployment, some people will be like, but you're all cocky because you deployed and stuff like that. You think you're fucking hot shit. I'm like, nah, not really. But the people over there, they kind of make me feel that way. So I'll kind of tone it down now that I'm back in America. But over there, oh, bro, I feel like Thor. And they're like, I don't know, Baby Groot. Just fuck out of here, man. That's how they made me feel. To no fault of my own. It's just they're that bad. They're that garbage.
J-Dam's just
one after the other. Apparently they were carpet bombing with B-52s as well. Like,
holy shit.
They were getting ordnance. Like, they were putting in work.
Good.
Hey, we need over.
That's like the epitome of target-rich environment. That's what that is like.
I know. Tell me if you could just be so kind, tell me the number of KIA. So I have something to think about later while I jerk it.
Shoot in all directions, good. Just, like, that's wild.
So how'd that end up playing out?
Eventually they gained fire superiority and they started bounding up, and the Afghans came back. And
of course we gained fire superiority. We're us and they're them.
And some of the Al-Qaeda abandoned, like, they left, but most of the valley was completely wiped the fuck out. Like, all the caves.
So much to explore at Total Wine and More.
Closed, like, they had nothing left. They wiped out a shit ton of Taliban.
Bomb
them up.
All right, how much time did you spend in Afghanistan?
I was there 2010 and 2011. So from July 2010 to June 2011. I did 11 months.
Okay.
That's when Afghanistan was more popping off.
Wait, hold on. What were the dates again?
I was there 2010 and 2011. So
he got there as I was leaving, I think. Because because I deployed 2010 to 2011, and then had a couple months off between 2011 and 2012, and then deployed again at the end of 2011 or middle of 2011, and deployed again through 2012, and then got out of the military in 2013. I think so. I think me and him I think I've talked about this before, actually. I think me and him were there at the same time. Different places, obviously. I don't know where he was. And so, but like my first deployment probably lines up with his first deployment, maybe. No, I think I deployed at the tail end of 2009. Yeah, because I went to basic training like at the very beginning of 2009, February 14th, actually. I went to basic training. And before that year was over, I was deployed. Pretty sure. So yeah, me and him were there roughly around the same time, I believe.
So from July 2010 to June 2011, I did 11 months.
Okay.
That's when Afghanistan was more popping off because the Iraq war has been on the decline, and then was it 2014? I think ISIS started 12 to maybe 14. So that's when ISIS.
And I was so prepared to go to Iraq too, because at the time, I didn't know what was happening in Afghanistan. Oh, why would I? I was 18. Did you give a fuck about what was happening around the world at 18? Probably not. I thought I was going to go to Iraq, and then I fucking get there, they're like, you going to Afghanistan? I'm like, what's happening there? And they were like, everything. I was like, oh, all right, cool.
I was part of that big push that President Obama wanted to do to like finish the war in Afghanistan. So they just like
50,000 more. Yes, mama, coming. Yeah, Obama wanted to send a shit ton of troops into Afghanistan to just like, I don't know, make it happen, get it done. that didn't work. He sent like 50,000, and then like a couple years later, he sent like 50,000 more. Obama sent a lot of troops to Afghanistan. Like a lot. And I'm not even saying that to speak bad about Obama. I'm just stating the fact. Like, he did send a lot but George Bush sent a lot to Iraq as well. I was part of the same push he was in, just like sending go. But bro, that's why when I got to my unit, they literally said, they were like, welcome to 173rd. You deploy in 6 months. I was like, okay, that's great. And even my recruiter told me, he's like, before next year, you'll be deployed. I was like, how do you know? He's like, trust me, son. I know. Be right back. What? That girl still doesn't know how to play hide and go seek. I go out there and she's like, Theo, come find me. I'm under the table. I'm like, Nelly, that's not how the game works. You're not supposed to tell me where you're hiding. And then she'll also do this thing where she's like, okay, let's play hide and go seek. And then she'll go hide in my face. Like, I'm standing right here and she literally turns around and goes and hides under the couch. I'm like, I saw you go there. So then I gotta play dumb and be like, where are you? Blah, blah. You were 2 in 2009? Jesus Christ. Fucking A. It's funny you say that too, because when I was my first unit, everybody thought that I was a kid. Everybody thought that most of us were kids, really, for the most part, because we looked so young. And they were always saying that, like, oh, look at the little babies and shit like that. Our platoon was full of kids, really. The oldest person in my platoon, my first deployment, and I'm not counting my platoon sergeants. My platoon sergeants were like over. They both looked like they were late 30s, maybe even 40. But everybody else, from the lowest dumbass to sergeant, nobody in my platoon was over the age of 27. Well, Sergeant Vasquez was like 30, literally 30 when I met him. But everybody else, man, it was like a platoon full of kids. Everyone in my squad was 18, 19. 90% of my platoon was a teenager. When I was just, it was wild. Just thinking back on it and how young we were doing what we were doing, it's always like mind-boggling to me. And like, none of us thought that it was a big deal. None of us thought that we were doing anything special. None of us thought that that was just like a wild thing to be doing at just so young of an age.
Like, there was nowhere for us to stay. We just showed up and they're like, we're going to put a cop there. So we're like living in a school for like a week while the CBs are putting together a cop for us. Yeah, we did that a lot. I lived in an Afghan dude's house for 7 months. Yeah.
Why? They let you. Not us.
Videos on YouTube. You can look up Afghan cribs. And I made a video called it's on YouTube.
Welcome to my crib. Da, 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 da. Right here. This is where 30 guys sleep.
I've been inside of their homes. I've never stayed the night. Ever. One experience that I had inside of this guy's home. It was him it was like 5 or 6 females of varying ages, right? And 3 of the females looked like they were my age from what I could tell, given what I could see, right? And we're having tea and stuff like that, and he's talking, and I turned to the interpreter, and I asked him, I'm like, is the whole multiple wives thing over here, is that a thing? And he's like, well, sometimes, but not here. Those are his daughters. I'm like, he's got 4? He's like, 5 actually. The one over there in the corner is his wife. I was like, oh, you poor bastard. I'm the one in combat, yet I feel like you're worse off than me right now. That is rough, my friend. Good lord. It was good tea, though, and the food that they served us was hella good. And the bread was amazing. The bread was probably the best part. Those people know how to make some fucking bread. Captain Z, what's good? And yes, DeRozier. Oh, walking dogs? Oh, yeah, that's... You walk your dogs in 30 degree. You can't wait till daytime, bro? Or like walk their ass at noon when it's like the hottest, even if it is cold.
This is what the perfect gift for a man looks like.
So my wife got me this weird new kitchen knife as a Christmas. We all shit here.
This is my sugar daddy, Muhammad.
Dude, I love it. In the video, like I'm walking through, like pointing different stuff out, and you see like a Bunsen burner on top of a propane tank, and literally 4 inches away is a bandolier of 40 millimeter high explosive grenades, like just 4 inches to the right. And I'm like, yeah, well, it is what it is.
Right here, we got our top kitchen. Boom, boom, boom. And grenades right behind it. And it's veterans, or it's soldiers in war doing that video.
Mm-hmm. It was a good time, man. That was home for a while, man. Like we'd be sitting there.
It is.
And because we had no running water, no electricity, our bathroom was a hole in the ground. But like every 3 or...
Was it PVC pipe? Was it PVC pipe? I hope it was. Maybe y'all did it different. Well, no, it had to have been because you were there the same time I was, and some of the places that I was at, yeah, no shower, no heat, no AC, and we had to. Well, I mean, we could take a shower, but we had to take a water bottle, poke holes in it in the bottom, fill it up with water, hang up the water bottle, and then shower before the water ran out or whatever. And then the PVC pipe was for the piss, and then the holes were for the shit. But so I'm assuming, yeah, that maybe, but I don't know. It's still gross either way.
4 months for like an hour and a half, we would get electricity. Like we'd all be just chilling out playing cards with like, you know, a Bunsen burner or something. And all of a sudden there was a light in the compound that would come on and we'd be like, and just everyone scrambles to the chargers to like charge your cameras and your laptops and, you know, just try and charge everything.
It's like, God, I don't miss it at all. Period.
I don't miss it either. It was, you know, it was funny. It was funny. There would be times where we didn't have, like, the internet was really, really bad at our fob. Like, there was a guy, little, like, Connex kind of, that did internet, right? And the internet was really, really bad. You couldn't game online. You couldn't do anything. The only thing you could do with this internet, at best, was check your Facebook. That's it. And even then, that shit went so slow, right? So I remember one time, the internet was moving hella slow, and this girl that I was talking to at the time, at like the tail end of my deployment, this girl that I was talking to, she had sent me some nude pictures, but the photos were not rendering at all because the internet was so fucking slow, man. So insanely slow. And the photos would just not render with this fucking internet. And I'm like, I'm never going to get to see these nudes. I'm not going to get to see this girl naked till I get home, right? And then, like, some days pass, and they they come into our tent and they're like, hey, so maintenance platoon is doing a convoy to Bagram, and we need 2 or 3 volunteers. And I was like, in my head, I was like, Bagram. I've been to Bagram. Bagram has Wi-Fi. Bagram has really good internet. Can I go? Please, 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 please. I will go. I will volunteer. I will do the job of all 3 people. Let me go. I will go right now. He was like, Falcon. But, okay, you can go, but quick question. Why do you want to go so bad? Like, you already do convoys with your other platoon sometimes, and I don't see you as someone volunteering for another convoy. And then I explained to him the story and how the internet was really slow and I couldn't get these nudes to process in time, and that my only way to get these nudes to actually render was to be around somewhere that had better internet. He fell out laughing, and he's like, okay, Falcon. He's like, I feel like I'm doing you more of a favor than you're doing us, but get your ass in the truck. Let's go. And I did, and I went to Bagram, and I got those nudes, and it was glorious. And I saved them and everything. It's great. It's good times.
Ever. I'm glad that phase is over, especially at my age. I'm like, nah, just
what I tell, it's interesting because I did that before I came over to ADA, and a lot of my ADA soldiers, they're like, I wish I had those same experiences as you. And I like, the way I look at it is, I wouldn't trade those experiences for the world, but I also don't wish them on my worst enemy. Like, it was, experiences may vary depending on where you are in the world at what time of the history.
My experiences being deployed were leaps and bounds better than my experiences not being deployed. I don't know what that says about me. I don't know what that says about my military service, and I don't know what that says about the time that I spent in my military service, but in all honesty, I had the most fun and I got the most out of the military when I was deployed. My most fondest memories are of being deployed. My favorite memories are of being deployed. My saddest memories are from being deployed. Right? It's just like being deployed. And I deployed twice. That was just like, it was life-changing for me, really. And it'll always stick with me, more so than the garrison stuff. And fuck, man, just sitting in a motor pool for fucking 7 hours doing nothing. Waiting on some cowardly NCO to work up the courage to ask the fucking first sergeant if we can just go home for the day. I despised every single second of that. And I couldn't operate in that, man. I wasn't really a good soldier when it came to that. When it came to being deployed, I was a stellar soldier. When it came to not being deployed, I wasn't a good soldier. I can admit that. I was not good at the yes or no, sir, and fucking Captain America high speed dog and pony show, blah, kissing ass. I was not good at that. I was good at the fighting portion, though. So...
but yeah.
You're thankful for it.
You can learn from it without wanting to relive it.
Yeah. Somebody's like, you want to go back to Afghanistan? Nope.
Oh, I would, though. In a different capacity. I would not go back in the same uniform that I went the first time. I'd be in civilian clothes this time. But I would go back to Afghanistan as a contractor. Because they make good money. Regardless, the contracting company, they make more than I'm making right now. That's for sure. I've been saying that since I left Afghanistan the first time. I'd go back in a heartbeat. I would just only go back under a different situation, not wearing that other uniform.
Like, it sucks though, because like, even for you as an Iraq war vet, you see like World War II vets and Vietnam vets, and they like take them back, and they, hey, we had an OP set up there, and they're like pointing shit out. And we'll never be able to do that.
Yeah.
I did get to do that. Fortunately for me, I did get to be that person. My second deployment. We did a convoy. And on this convoy, we passed where I used to be stationed at. Like, we passed and we actually stopped in the FOB where I was stationed at my previous deployment, called FOB Airborne. We stopped there. I told all my friends, this is the FOB we used to be at. I told them a whole bunch of stories. I told them this was the village that we used to patrol. It used to be full of life, full of people, and now it's destroyed and barren, and no one lives there because Taliban burned down the village, and I'm assuming they either killed everybody or they ran them all out. And then, yeah, I got to show them the hills that we patrolled. I got to show them the roads that we got shot at on. I got to show them the roads that got blown up while we were driving on them. And it was a pretty cool experience for me just to be able to point out geographical locations and like just spots that I had been to that I had personal experience with and stuff like that. And I could just like give that knowledge to my friends. And that was pretty cool for me.
Good.
That'll never happen.
For one, they landed in a first world country. There's a Starbucks on the corner of Normandy now.
What if I told you this was the last ad you would ever see?
Dude, I will say, what is wild? There's that, I forget the guy's name. He goes around and eats food. He has like the iron stomach. He goes to like even India. He eats everything that is offered to him on the street foods. He will eat it. Really cool YouTube channel. But he's like,
yeah, you did go try some Afghan curry, my friend. See how that steel stomach of yours handles it.
He gets deathly ill sometimes.
Oh.
He voted Iraq, and then watching his Iraq video, because he went as of like a year ago to visit Iraq and then interact with the people and eat the food. And he put them as like some of the kindest people he's ever met. And then you see them like offering their shirt off the back, because you did have Iraqis that would take care of you. Like you, when you showed up to their property, they'd like offer you tea and everything. And you're on edge because you're like, I don't know if he's playing, what side he's playing, like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But
is he luring me in versus is he being nice?
Yeah. And dude, some of the
And that was a reason why I rarely ever interacted unless I absolutely had to, or unless I had other people around me to watch my back. I never interacted with people like that, with the locals. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't, but I didn't trust them as far as I could throw them, really. Some of them were appreciative, some of them liked us, but at the end of the day, I still didn't trust them. And I still approached them with extreme caution. I talked to them with extreme caution, and I behaved with extreme caution around all of them. All the time. Always on edge around these people, because I don't know, man. I don't know. You don't know. There's no uniform over there, bro. They all look the same. Not even on no racist shit. They all, like, the fighters look just like the civilians. The civilians look just like the fighters. It's just not even about color. It's about their dress wear and how they operate and how they move, man. It's just like hard to trust.
those dudes that were like the kindest people, you'd be like,
but a lot of them are nice over there. I did experience that. I did experience like a lot of kind gestures, mainly from the people that I encountered running the bazaars. The bazaars were run by Afghan locals, and some of those dudes were really nice, and some of them would allow you the opportunity to barter and haggle with them for prices. It's not like here in America, you go somewhere 50. Yeah, but what about, nope, 50, bitch, unless you got a coupon. Right, over there, man, haggling and bartering is like a big part of their business. And yeah, they were really cool with that.
They're like, no, neighborhood is good, mister. It is all good. And you look outside and there's like 18 craters behind you. You're like, we have a different definition of good, but I'm gonna listen to you. But they offer.
Eli, that's because they've been at war for so long that as long as it's not anything cataclysmic, it's normal. Like, an IED hit me over there and it gave me PTSD. Bombs go off over there for them and they're just like, that was like 4 miles away, I think. That's about 4 miles. I'm good. I'm fine. That's how they operate, and I've seen them operate like that, bro. They've been at war and conflict, and combat has been such a it's been literally integrated into their daily life that whenever they describe something to you, it's not how you would describe it. So for him, it's like, oh, it's a good place. Sometimes we get bombs, sometimes we get bullets. I don't know why I'm using Russian accent for Afghan man, but you know what I'm saying, right? You know, they're just like, kind of like when we describe our stories to civilians here in America, we're just like very nonchalant about it, and they're just like, you did what? Right? So.
For you chai out, like the ones that did drink.
The story that Griff told the other day, where he's just like, the guy he was in with that ran the bed and breakfast, the coffee shop or whatever, he's like, sir, you might want to stay for your coffee for an extra hour or so. And then he heard an IED go off.
Like right outside. Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're good.
Yeah, now it's like,
Fuck,
you're
man.
good, Mr. Good. Like, and that's the thing. We're going back there.
That's the mindset that they have, bro. That's it. And funny enough, it's the mindset that I developed towards the tail end of my deployment. Towards the tail end of my deployment, the shit didn't even faze me no more. Gunshots didn't faze me anymore. Random explosions still would make me jump and twitch just because I don't expect it. But you get used to it. You hear rockets go off. You hear the alarm go off. You just throw on your helmet. Keep playing Call of Duty. It's fine, bro. They miss. They miss all the time. The odds of them actually hitting the tent, fine.
It's watching that dude go back there. He's like, man, these people are amazing. You get to eat the food versus when we were there. It's just like the fear of walking on that street. If you just dropped me off, I'd be like instant spike on.
Every pile of trash makes you have a heart attack.
You sound like a former Detroit police officer talking about going back for the pizza.
You know what I would go back for? Speaking of food, I would go back to, oh man, it was somewhere in the vicinity going towards Fob Shank. No, not Fob Shank, going towards Kandahar. Going towards Kandahar, there was on the way there was a small little fob that we stopped at to drop off some things that we were hauling. There was a couple of A&A contractors that we were escorting that needed to drop off at this place, and this place had a restaurant that was owned and run by Afghanis. And I went into this restaurant with my buddy Hunter. Buddy Hunter's huge. The dude's like 6'5", 250 pounds. He goes in there and he puts me onto hummus for the first time. I had never had hummus until I went to this place. And he puts me on hummus, and then they make this bread that is just amazing. It's like oven toasted or oven roasted. They do something with the bread, and then they put honey all over it, and then you take the bread with the honey and you dip it into the hummus, and I would go back for that. It was the greatest shit I had ever had while I was there, and it was so good that I ordered it 3 more times. And then we had to leave, and then we never went back to that fob. We never went back to that CP ever again. And I would always ask, like, yo, when we going back? When we going back? When we going back? Because I wanted to eat there again. It was so good. It was so good. If I'd go back, I'd try to find that place. Oh, and the name of the restaurant, if you're curious, The Oasis. That's what it was called. Never forget that place. There was a bazaar right next to it that sold Beats by Dre, and they sold blow dart guns, and they sold ski masks and shit. All kinds of stuff at this fucking bazaar. It was weird. You had like the Beats by Dre were right next to the blow dart guns. I was like, I like this store. Anyways.
You know what's funny is my brother is a cop in Detroit.
Really? Oh, no shit. All right. Yeah. This is very familiar then.
He's only had to get administrative leave once when he fired his weapon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't even know the circumstances of what exactly happened, but he like called my mom and was like, yeah, I got into a shootout. They got me on administrative leave for a couple of days until they figure out what the hell's going on. I guess every time an officer shoots in that department, like IA has to, I don't know.
That's not that department. Habitual line crosser. That is all police. That is all police. And I'm surprised you didn't have to go through this unless you never got into a firefight where you were deployed. But every firefight that I got into when I was in the service, guess what I had to do? I had to do a sworn statement. I had to tell them how many bullets I fired, what I was firing at, why I fired, what were the circumstances for me to open fire. Did I go through the rules of engagement? Who was also there that can account for the rounds that I fired? In what direction was I firing? Were we getting contact? Was it IDF? Was it small arms? Was it an IED? Was it a VBID? Was it a suicide vest? Like, what was it? What time of day? How many people were in your element when it happened? And you have to do sworn statements for every single person in the platoon that pulled the trigger. And the same thing goes for cops. It's even worse for cops, because those are like, for cops, that's like very, very specific targeted isolated events. When it comes to combat can literally move from place to place. from a mountain to the bottom of a mountain, from the bottom of the mountain to across the ravine. And some of these firefights, they may take longer than 10 minutes, right? And it just all depends. You might get into a firefight, and then an hour later you get into another one, and then an hour later you get into another one, and you just spend all day either getting hit or, you know, returning fire. So it becomes hard to account for all the shit you did in a combat setting. But as cops, you have the ample time and opportunity to account for all of your actions, because a firefight for a cop's not going to last all day, and a cop is not going to spend all day inside of a bunker getting IDF, and a cop is also not going to spend all day in random different shootouts in different locations like a soldier would. So for them, it's more imperative to document their actions than it is for us, but we still have to do it as well. It was like that was actually jarring for me when my first firefight I had to do paperwork for it. I was just like, if I would have known this was the case, I wouldn't have shot my weapon, bro. Like I thought we could just shoot and just like shoot. I got to do an essay every time I pull the trigger. Come on, bro.
Maybe you would know, like, similar to every police force, do they have to investigate?
It depends on the department, the agency, and everything.
I thought it was all police, bro. Because like I know cops personally that have discharged their weapon on duty. Paperwork, sworn statement, all this shit. Who, why, when, where, how. That's it.
Man, like sometimes you have a civilian oversight board that can decide whether your shooting is good or not.
Yeah.
You ever be at the store and you get overloaded with too many products? Not at Big Mama's.
Proudly brought to you by...
Which is weird because they've never been cops before. But
So people who have no experience
Chicago.
get to decide if you did the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's dope. That's another reason Chicago is.
Which is why whenever I went through my court martial, I decided to never mind.
Going down hills because they have a civilian oversight board.
That's insane.
That's why cops in Chicago just like they just fucking stay out of it now.
They stop policing because
they stop policing, dude.
You're
It's
like,
like
I mean, Cody has a good. I mean, you're gonna know that best, but the idea of telling you your job, it's no different than like the rules of engagement overseas when it's like I've had weapons pointed at me, and you're like, oh, they're not shooting, so I'm fine.
Yeah,
and
yeah. What I was gonna say for my court martial, the stupid spineless bitch that was prosecuting me. First deployment. The stupid, pathetic, cowardly bitch that was prosecuting me. No combat experience. First deployment. Never been in a firefight. Never been in country. Didn't have a combat patch. Didn't have a combat action badge. Nothing. She was literally the definition of green. Sitting in judgment of me. With all of my combat experience and wisdom and knowledge. Sitting in judgment of me. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself and the people that allowed you to sit in judgment of me. And you haven't done anything that I've done. We're not the same. And you can judge me? Fuck you.
I had to like program that in my mind. They're allowed to do this.
That's hostile
until
intent,
they
not hostile act.
Yeah.
Yep.
Until they shoot, I cannot react or anything.
I love that they made that.
Hands tied behind our backs. Because we have a whole bunch of fucking pussy-ass cowards making decisions for us, and they're not actually having to do what we're doing. Imagine you're a boxer and your trainer goes, "Oh, hey, instead of putting your hands up to block, just use your face. You'll be fine." Because when you use your hands, it's actually an unfair advantage, and you keep your enemy from hitting you. Those are the kind of dumbasses we have telling soldiers how to operate.
Such a big point of like Black Hawk Down, where it's like where they talked about how bullshit the rules of engagement.
How does one earn their combat patch? You deploy to combat. That's it. You deploy. She was going to get a combat patch after that deployment, but if you ask around, most people won't really consider your combat patch legitimate unless that lady, bro, like she'll get a combat patch, but all the other stuff she didn't have at all. That was her first deployment. That was her first time in that country. That was her first time being deployed. And it was just like, okay, so you don't know the climate. You don't know what the enemy is like. You don't know what these roads are like. You don't know what these firefights are like. You don't know what these convoys are like. You don't know what these foot patrols are like. You don't know what it's actually like to be out there because you've never been out there. But you're going to sit there on your fucking high horse and act like you're the epitome of the standard when you actually haven't done. How can you even?
It wasn't an action movie. They made the point to say how bullshit the rules of engagement were, and like, oh well, the Clinton administration in their infinite wisdom has decided not to give us, air support, not to give us anything for this mission. So good luck, boys.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, they're shooting at us. No, it's still a whiz. Okay, now they're shooting at us because that sound different. There was a giant.
You got 800 skinnies with AKs coming at us in the middle of the street.
And
not
they're
great.
Pumping this, they're not, but they're not because they weren't.
However, there is a lot of shit. There is a lot of shit that was not in the documentation for my court-martial that should have been. I had good friends. I had really good friends. I had to bite the bullet, but there's quite a few things that didn't make it onto that court-martial documentation and paperwork, and it was things that were simply left out because they never got brought up because no one ever said anything. And so, well, there's that. Basically, these days, if you go to combat, keeping secrets, that's how you stay alive. Really. That's it. Keeping secrets, because if you have to do it their way, you're dead because you got your hands tied behind your back, bro. Really, at the end of the day.
Weren't getting fired at. You cannot fire back. I've been in many situations, and you're just like, ah.
I still get emotional.
Stress levels.
I still get emotional when I see Randall and Sugart. Was it Sugart, Gordon, Randall, Sugart, and
the Delta boys.
Yeah, the Delta guys, and that whole last stand they had. Like, fuck, man.
The two landing and be like, they're like, this means there's no support coming. It's like,
Yeah.
yep, we're good. And then they're still like, nope, drop us off. I'm like, we need you to confirm over radio that you understand what you're placing yourself into. We understand, both of them.
But I will say their KDR is pretty.
The homeboys went hard.
Yeah. They ran out of ammo before they went fucking down. So their kill death ratio is.
And they did save one guy.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. They saved one individual from.
No, I actually had good friends. Mysterious. There was just a lot of shit that they knew about me, and there was a lot of shit that I knew about them. And the only reason I even ended up in that situation, because me and my friends, we had a motto, right? What happens in this platoon stays in this platoon, right? And then we had two people that dropped from our platoon. One got sent to another company because of just company reasons. Another company needed somebody else, so we lost one. And then the other one refused to go on mission because she was too afraid after what happened to me. So we were down two, and we got two replacements. Both of these replacements, both of them were medics. One was actually Army from another unit on the installation, and the other one was Air Force. The one that was Air Force was in my truck. And she's essentially the one that told on everybody. Really. And yeah, that was pretty much it. And then whenever she started singing, my friends were like, I don't know, man. And I was doing the same thing. I was like, I don't know. I did have to own up to one or two things because they were not going to let it go, bro. It was like a pit bull with a bone. They get that lockjaw, they were not going to let go. I had to give them something. So I had to plead guilty to a couple of things that were just like stupid and dumb. At the end of the day, shouldn't even have required a court martial, and that's exactly what the judge said. He's like, this is kind of ridiculous. Y'all are trying to give this kind of punishment for these kind of crimes. Well, that's not even a crime. And so yeah, but I had really good friends, man. There was a whole bunch of shit they could have said that they didn't, and there was a whole bunch of shit I could have said and I didn't. And my court martial should have been like an extra 57 pages long, but it wasn't, because of them and because of me. But I had to give them something. Don with the 10. Right on, compared to what OEF and GWOT veteran. What is GWOT again? Went through Desert Storm, was a glorified field op. Hey, that field op ran pretty badass though. That was a huge ass tank movement. A huge ass heavy armored movement that I've seen videos on, and the logistics that went into it, and it's just like, it's wild. No, Dawn, what it was, it's not that, I wouldn't call her timid. I'd call her a coward. My truck gets hit with an IED, and then she doesn't want to go on mission anymore. Because she doesn't want what happened to me to happen to her. What the fuck did you think we were doing, bitch? What job did you think you were doing? What job do you think you signed up for? What did you think was going to happen when we got over here? Huh? You think we were just going... You think we just been going door to door this whole time selling fucking Girl Scout cookies? Huh? What'd you think? And, well, because it's the military and you got a whole bunch of pussy-ass, white knighting-ass dudes, they were like, you know what? We'll take you on mission. We'll take you off mission. We're going to put you in the office, all right? You're going to do stuff on the computer. Uh-huh. And she did that for the rest of the deployment. And they let her. Meanwhile, we had to get replacements. She wasn't sick. She wasn't ill. She wasn't missing limbs. She was just scared. Scared. And the military, in a combat environment, said, oh, well, that's okay. You could just go sit over there. Take all the time you need. Had I said some shit like that, as a man in the military, I would have got ruthlessly mocked into oblivion, called a pussy, and I still would have gone on mission anyways. I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but that shit really did piss me off. I fucking hate the double standard. Why we don't want y'all in fucking front line and infantry. That right there, that's the reason. That right there. That's why y'all don't belong. Why y'all don't belong in infantry is we don't belong on the fucking front lines. Nowhere. That right there. That's the reason. Anyways.
They ended up finding, was it Michael Durant was the name of the pilot.
Yeah.
They ended up finding him. He had a broken back and some other shit.
Got him set up. MP5, if that's how that played out. And then, or that's how, and Michael talks about it. It's like MP5 and Life Protect ran out, and then they just took him hostage.
One of my friends growing up, his dad was one of the pilots during that operation.
I want it, but I can't afford it. I mean, honestly, dude, if you can't spend $20 to make sure you have clean ears for...
Shut up, buy Q-tips.
That's he had some fucking stories.
Yeah. Dude, it's wild. Like that mini bird would just, what, I think it was like 2,000 or 10,000 dead. During that engagement. We lost 20 or 22 American soldiers.
Let's consult the nightmare.
But I mean, that's also like
consult the night 18 or 22.
But that's also like 75th. 75th is like used to just like you hand them a shit sandwich and they're gonna make it into a 3-course meal. Like the 75th, just that's what they're built for. Like Point du Hoc is a perfect example of this.
A surgical hammer is what they're called. As we said, it's like surgical hammer.
So, Battle of Mogadishu.
After this one, I'm gonna pee and then smoke, and then we'll get on to the angry cop. Well, actually, we'll get on to Kevin's and then the angry cops one, because Kevin's isn't that long.
1993. American casualties and losses: 18 killed, 84 wounded.
That was Mogadishu.
Okay.
Enemy side: 200 killed, 700 wounded per Red Cross.
So we won. Really?
315 killed, including 133 SNA troops, 812.
I mean, at the end of the day, some people might think like, oh, you went over there for a reason and didn't actually accomplish the goal of going over there, so therefore you lost. I'll let you have that. But we still killed more of them than they killed of us, so that's a fucking win. At the end of the day, we can just basically call it our country versus your country, and we fucking decimated you. Really. We might not have won the objective, but we did have a really, really good KD ratio, and we carried the rest of these fucking scrubs to victory. Think of it like that. Think of it as a video game. You take the L, but you got 56 kills and 2 deaths. And then you look at their fucking scoreboard. No one has above 5 kills. Yeah, they might have won the match, but you're still a god. So, anyways.
Wounded per SNA. Other estimates, 300 to 700 killed.
That's a pretty good kill death ratio. I'm telling you, that's 75th is there to put in work. They're not there to fucking play. There was when I came to Fort Carson, I can't remember the guy's name. If you guys remember his name, please let me know. It wasn't actually featured in the movie. He came down to Fort Carson and like spoke to a bunch of us in like an auditorium. Apparently he was in Mogadishu and got separated from his unit and like ran out of ammo really and was like going building to building trying to get back to his guys. Like, and apparently offed like 5 or 7 dudes with an E-tool. Like,
oh fuck.
Yeah. I don't know who this guy was, but it wasn't in the movie. And this guy was like, yeah, that's just what happened. He's like, I ran black on ammo, pulled out the E-tool, and I just started.
Guys, if you don't know what an E-tool is your entrenching tool. It's a shovel. It's a shovel. It basically it has this little twist thing at the base where you can twist it, and when you twist it, it retracts. You can fold it, and then it fits snug anywhere. It can fit. And matter of fact, I think you could fit it in your cargo pocket, but it can go anywhere in your duffel bag, your assault pack, or anything like that. Your E-tool, entrenching for digging. If you gotta take a shit, or if you just want to cover your tracks, or maybe you're digging a hole to make a fire or something like that, it's a tool. I'll tell you right now, I did not carry my E-tool. I think the last time I carried my E-tool was basic training. I had one. It was an inspectable item, and it was part of my CIF inventory. But I never I took it on deploy, but it never left under my bed. I never even took it on missions with me, now that I can remember. Never took it on missions, never. Yeah. There was always just shovels around if we needed some. I wasn't really a big fan of the E-tool because it's like really short. So if you have to dig with the E-tool, just to get the leverage and to get the height, you got to get on your knees to dig a hole with the E-tool, as opposed to a regular shovel where you can just stand and dig. I prefer a regular shovel, but at the end of the day, a shovel's a shovel. If you don't have one, the E-tool will suffice. But you got to get on your knees to shovel with the E-tool, because the E-tool, fully retracted, is this long. That's it. Like not even 2 feet. So it's kind of. But as far as wielding it as a weapon to whoop some ass, oh, that thing's solid. I ought to fuck you up. And it is, and the shovel is pretty sharp towards the end, and kind of like you get somebody on their back, and you get a good line of sight of their neck, and bam, just right there, just borderline decapitation. Really, that's savage.
Chopping my way back to my fucking guys.
Chopped my way back. Dude, that's such a cool thing to say.
Dude,
that's just such a crazy thing to say off the cuff.
I can't believe they didn't show that in the movie. I mean, why not? That would have been a great scene. Because there was a scene in the movie where a soldier does get separated from the squad, but the only reason he gets separated is because he can't hear anything. When you're in a firefight, guys, you can't hear. And if you have someone next to you that's also popping off, you're popping off, and then another motherfucker's popping off, and there's motherfuckers across from you popping off, it is a very loud environment. And this guy couldn't hear. He's like, what? What? And his friends are like, hey, man, we're moving. And he's just like, shit, right? So We did see that scene. That would have been a better scene, really, in place of the scene that we saw, because he was just lost because he couldn't hear. And that was it. And it was funny, but this would have been better.
Yeah.
Just the action to be like, black on ammo.
I think that maybe they would have put it in the movie, but because it seems like something that's like just way too badass to even seem true, they decided not to. Maybe they were like, maybe they were like, we should put this scene in here, but people might accuse us of just like getting overzealous and being like, oh, these motherfuckers don't know how to write a war movie. Look at this ridiculous ass shit. That wouldn't happen, right? Maybe that's why they did it, when in all reality, it's an actual true story. And maybe they were like, people are going to think that we're mocking the soldiers of Mogadishu. People are going to think that we're just like over sensationalizing what actually happened. When no, dude really ran through the 6 with a shovel. So maybe that's why they didn't do it, because I don't think anyone would have believed Hollywood had they put that in there. They would have been like, I doubt it, bro. You're just making shit up. It looks cool, but I doubt it. Can you at least be real? That is real.
The handle part because the E-tool unfolds like this.
Yeah,
so he's just like, got it. And the next guy's like, hello. Just cracking with the E-tool.
I love that mindset of like, obviously next step. Like,
that's, I don't know, like I've never gotten formal like E-tool weapons training, but does the 75th get E-tool weapons training? Like
I've never, no. I got bayonet training. But you can't attach the E-tool to the front of your weapon, so there goes that, and you wouldn't fight with the E-tool like a bayonet. You wouldn't be like, ha! No, with the E-tool, it would be more along the lines of a fucking, like, goddamn, hit you with that Bryce Harper type of shit. Really. Running at you, full speed. Like Wolverine, but he doesn't have the claws, but he has a steel pipe. Fucking...
I've fucked with bayonets in basic training, and but like no one's ever been like, all right, you're gonna thwap this right in their coconut and kick them in the nuts. Like I have no idea like what.
And Call of Duty didn't even exist at the time, so you can't say that homie played Call of Duty and wanted to get a knife kill. Nah, this was all instinct.
That's when your caveman brain kicks in. You're like, big object.
What makes the grass grow?
Yeah. However, have y'all ever been hit with a rifle? Ever? Have you ever been rifle thumped? Ever? It hurts. Rifle thumped. Holding your weapon, right? M4, M16, AR. You get really close to a person, right? They're like really close to you. You take your barrel of your rifle and you go, BAM! That shit hurts. And if you hit him in the face with it, that shit hurts. Or have you ever picked up a rifle by the barrel end of it and swung it like a bat and hit somebody with it? I've been hit by a rifle like that before. And I've also been rifle thumped before, where they take the barrel and just jab you with it. Fucking hurts. You could also, out of ammo, that's another swinging device you can use, your weapon. However, if you come across ammo, you don't want to like come across ammo later and your gun's fucked now because you've been wailing on people with it, but it's also another alternative.
Blood, girl, sorry. You have to do those dumb sayings.
Great grandfather knew how to do.
I think the only part of the movie Black Hawk Down that really pissed me off to watch, and I can't stand watching it, is when the helicopter actually goes down and like all those savage fucking skinnies, they raid the helicopter, they fucking gut it for parts and they kill the pilot, and they're just like fucking tossing his mangled body around and fucking just yeah. Even seeing that as a kid, it pissed me off. And after my military service, it angers me even more. That one scene, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts to just like the wounded pilot, all he has is a pistol left, and the city is descending on him. And they scrap the helicopter, they scrap him, he dies, and they're just like tossing his body around like a fucking rag doll. And in my head, I'm sitting here thinking, where's the Geneva Convention? Where's the rules of engagement? Where's fucking NATO? Where are all you pussy-ass cowards that would have my head on a fucking spike if I did that to an Afghani? But it was a different time. I still get annoyed. It's still, yeah.
This, so it's in the DNA.
Dude, that's like what was my biggest fear is like getting lost from your element and being by yourself at that time.
Bro, that would terrify the fuck out of me. Like,
Yeah, Don, because a buttstock, it's not a buttstock is not made of metal or steel, but getting hit with a buttstock, it still hurts. I'm clenching my teeth because, oh man, one time McCoy hit me in the shin with the buttstock of his with the buttstock of his weapon. Oh my god, I chased him all around the tent. I was gonna beat his ass.
Like, I can't imagine that.
Like, imagine you're just like, oh, anyone around me wants to kill me now. Like, you have no idea, and you had to make it back to your unit in the midst of gunfire and war, and you have a E-tool.
That's terrifying, but it's also probably the exact amount of adrenaline you need to cleave
to survive
5 people with an E-tool.
Yeah.
That's not even understanding your own strength. I guarantee that first dude, he's like, oh, swing full force, like the head's like chopping.
Just took a chunk of the skull off.
Also,
or
they're
something.
like 95 pounds, but
Yeah, that's fair.
4 died by heart attacks.
Yeah.
You get hit with an E-tool by someone who's not that mad, black eye. You get hit with an E-tool by someone who's full of adrenaline, lost, scared, anxious, and just wants to survive. Yeah, that E-tool might straight up decapitate you. You never know, man.
Can you imagine, like, you go to your house and there's just like hacked up dead bodies and there's some just blood covered American with a shovel just like, all right, I'm gonna leave.
Open the door, close the door.
Yep. See you later.
This is your house now?
You walk in and then walk out. Thank God I didn't drop in.
Were none of those open?
I know, dude,
Oh.
imagine. That would have been the end of the podcast right there, or at least audio for 30 minutes. Damn, Eli.
And the two, they're empty. So
Party foul averted.
Yeah. That was fun. I like hearing military stories, military experiences, because they're all different, dude. They're all so wildly different. You'll never hear the same military story twice from any one veteran. Unless they were in the same unit and they served together. But like, go talk to a veteran where you live, and then go talk to another random veteran somewhere else. And you'll hear completely different stories. You'll hear different experiences. You'll hear different stories. You'll hear different crimes. Yeah. Not all of us are stellar, bro. I mean, I know that we provide a service, but at the end of the day, we're human and we make mistakes just like everybody else. So, yeah, the stories are always going to vary and be different in what they are. So, yeah. Like, I don't think there's anyone else that has a story of them pissing on their driver and their TC like I did. It wasn't on purpose. I just had to pee. There's no bathroom in that truck. I pissed in a Gatorade bottle. Driver hit a pothole. Didn't notify me. Rough road, hole in the road, nothing. Hit the pothole. The truck, being an MRAP, it's very top heavy. It's huge, even with hydraulics and even with the fucking shock absorbers. Bitch still bounces. I dropped the Gatorade bottle. Piss went all over the TC and the driver. They were mad. They wanted to fight me about it. And so, looking back on it now, it's hilarious. But in the moment, I kind of felt bad. Yes? Hey, come here. Is that what you wore to school today? Hey, she's not here. She'll be back. She went to go eat. She went to go eat with her friends. She has friends. You're not her only friend. Come here, come here, come here. You can cry then. That's fine. Nelly, crying's not gonna help you. And I can hear the way you're crying. You're not crying for real. You're crying for attention. Yep, you're doing that forced cry. I'm not responding to that. Maybe fix up your attitude a little bit. Okay. If she was actually crying, I'd be more sympathetic, but she's doing that fake cry shit. Nope. Okay, where was yours, Kevin? And before I do yours, okay. Man, I haven't watched this channel in years. I used to, but then I don't know. I genuinely stopped giving a shit about the stuff that they were covering. I used to give a shit, and then I stopped giving a shit. Because I mainly stopped giving a shit about gaming like that. And because I stopped giving a shit about gaming like that, because I was just fucking over it, naturally I just watched less of Geeks and Gamers. But back when I really, really did care to like stay informed all the time, it was either them or the Quartering. Or I still watch Some Ordinary Gamers. Mutahar. I like him. With him, it's not just about gaming. It's computer stuff and tech and even some current events sometimes. But it has been a minute since I've watched some Geeks and Gamers. I hear a whole bunch of slamming going on in the living room. Hold on. Nayeli! Jumping on and off the couch. And then she hurt herself. But she didn't hurt herself that bad. Decided she wanted to do the whole fake crying thing again. She's in a whiny mood, bro. I don't think it matters what happens, she's gonna cry. She's just there. She's not just on one. She's like on 5. Okay.
I wanted to talk about something else I hate. I've been getting tagged in this nonstop for the past like 2 days. Okay? I have no problem with this woman. I think she's cool. I think she's too nice, in fact. But here we go.
Just so fucking rude. Everyone is so fucking rude. I hate it. Okay?
She looks mad.
Not a single word. The whole interaction. And they didn't even give you your chips. You know, they had 3 things to put in the bag. I just cut in front of that guy.
Oh, what happened?
Forgot chips and cheese.
Oh, okay. Okay, so please correct next time. Did you stop at the box?
No, because I didn't want to wait in line a second time.
Next time you have to wait.
Yep. Okay, sure. Okay. Yep. Say that I was supposed to stop at the box. That next time they forget my shit, I should stop at the box because there's going to be a next time.
This lady's too nice. This lady is way too... I would have lost my mind already. Because a monkey can do your job. A monkey. Monkeys can even act. They can. I've seen them in movies. I've seen them in TV shows. They can do all kinds of shit on command. And you sentient being-ass motherfuckers can't even put 3 things in a bag. It says it on the screen. Sandwich, fries, chips, drink. Ah, I got it all in there. Perfect. And here's the drink. There you go. Right? I don't know what happens to your brain and why you choose to go full retard when it comes to putting the contents of what should go in the bag actually in the bag. You take the order just fine. You take the money just fine. But when it comes to actually doing this and this and this, you can't do it. And then you put extra stipulations. You put extra things and extra stipulations in this lady's way, and then you're rude about it, making it seem like it's her fault. I would have cussed you out so goddamn fast, but the difference is I wouldn't be recording. One of your coworkers would probably start recording and put my ass on the internet because I'd lose my mind already. I can't. I've had this very same fucking grievance with fast food for decades. Bro, decades. Welcome to the club, girl. It's not fun, is it? That's why I can't wait for all of them to get fucking fired and a machine can just do their job, because I feel like a machine can do a better job than some of you turd bags at these fast food places. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It doesn't. Anyways,
The talking box back there where you order your food. I went around that guy, and now it's going to take 20 minutes to get chips. What? So fucking rude. Everyone is so fucking rude. I hate it. Go to talk.
See, that's where me and this girl are different. I don't really need I don't need your establishment to be nice to me. I just need you to get my order right. That's it. I just need you to do the one singular, most basic, most easiest, most simple fucking task on the planet, and that is to just match what's on the screen to the bag. That's it. I don't need you to say, yes, sir, no, ma'am, have a great day, my pleasure, with a smile on your face like Chick-fil-A does it. Hello, how can I serve you today? I don't need you to do any of that stupid fucking nonsense. Just get my food right. That's it. That's it. You don't even need to be nice to me. So that's where me and this girl are different. But just like, man, stop fucking up. Stop fucking up. It's not hard. I've worked fast food before. It ain't hard.
Talk about order your food. They forget half your shit. You only got 3 things.
Really, Taco Bell really never fucks up my stuff. That's surprising. You know who always fucks up my stuff? McDonald's. Go to a McDonald's in the South. I guarantee you don't get the right shit. And not only do you not get the right shit, I guarantee that when you go back and say you got the wrong shit, you're going to have some disrespectful ass bitch at the fucking register named Sharquisha, and she's going to go, go get the manager. Hold on. Guarantee it. I know from experience.
I've had so many experiences like that in Taco Bell.
Really? No, not me, man. Taco Bell's one of the better ones, really. I mean, yeah, you might deal with like some kind of like, you might deal with someone rude or someone like that's just trying to get you in and get you the fuck out like around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning because Taco Bell stays open late. And I understand if those employees want to go home because, you know, their competition went home like 4 hours ago. So I can kind of somewhat understand that. If you want to be like a little snippy with the customer, it's 1 a.m. at Taco Bell and the McDonald's across the street has been closed for hours. But regular business day type shit, I've never had really problems with Taco Bell.
And it's funny because that's like her kid in the back. She's like, everyone's so fucking rude, Jimmy. Whatever his name is, I don't know.
Is that her? I didn't really question who it was in the back. I didn't know that was her kid. Mommy is teaching him life lessons. Really.
Oh man, that's great. That's great.
But you know, on the flip side of this coin, you're also gonna have the people that are going to tell you, well, how about you stop feeding your son junk food, be a good mommy, and go cook for your son instead of bitching about fast food. I'm not saying that, but some people would say that. I just want to put that out there.
Right.
Yeah, listen, I don't see a ring anywhere, so let me know. You know, let me know if you need a dad in the life. So we can have a lot of great Taco Bell experiences together.
Oh man.
Oh, dude.
That's right up Ryan's alley right there.
It is. It's
okay.
fucking. It is so true though. You've seen me at places, at restaurants.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes, I have.
My shit gets fucked up constantly. I do not, when I order,
I'm not exaggerating. Like, my shit gets fucked up so much, and I'm not exaggerating. That's the crazy. I wish I were exaggerating. I wish I were lying about it. That would be a better reality. It's not. It's not. My shit gets fucked up so much, and it's just like, bro, I've worked this job before. I have. And it's just like it's so easy. It's so easy. I don't understand. And that's why I get so upset when y'all ask for minimum wage to be like $20. For what? So my order can still be wrong? Y'all got me fucked up, bro. There's no way.
Or like when I go, I'm not like fucking rude to anybody.
No,
I'm not either.
He holds it
until some bullshit happens, bro. That's how I live my life. I especially in public. Usually I keep quiet and I keep to myself, but I'm a very respectful person until you give me a reason not to be. And once you give me a reason not to be, bro, the gloves are off and it's no holds barred and it's like I'm genuinely pleasant until you give me that reason not to be. And when it comes to fast food, something about just like this whole topic, something about like just this whole conversation, it just triggers me, bro. Because I understand if Elon Musk came out and said, sorry guys, I can't make it to Mars, I really tried, I'd be like, oh man, that's okay. You know, you gave it your best effort. And you want to know why I would say that? Because I'm not a genius and I don't know what it takes to get to fucking Mars. But I know what it takes to work fast food, and it doesn't take a genius, and I've done it, and you're a fucking idiot.
It's deserved, right?
Like the video. Where's the video? Let's just play the fucking video.
Well, the only time I've worked fast food was when I was 18, Noelani, and I worked at Chick-fil-A, and I worked the front register, and I also worked the drive-thru. And there was times where when it was a slow day, I would work the drive-thru and the register at the same time. And other people would just be cleaning or cleaning the bathroom or doing shit in the freezer or unloading or stocking or stuff like that. And with Chick-fil-A, bro, not only did we have to be nice, but we had to get your order right. And when I worked at Chick-fil-A, if by chance I got your order wrong, not only did I verbally apologize to you, even though it wasn't my fault that it was wrong because I'm not the one that put it in the bag, But if your order was wrong, back in the day when I worked at Chick-fil-A, I would add 2 extra sandwiches and like 2 extra set of fries to your order. For the inconvenience. Really. I would give you free food. If your order was fucked up, I would give you free food. And my assistant manager did not mind that I did this at all. And so what I would do is sometimes I would tell my friends, yo, come up to the store, order something from me, and then be very vague. And when I give it to you, tell me it's wrong. And when you tell me it's wrong, I'm going to put 2 extra sandwiches in there and maybe a milkshake and some fries, and we'll be good. Because I couldn't just straight up give my friends free food. I would just make them purchase once, and I would give them like 3 more days worth of food in the same bag. Whatever. And I did this for everybody, bro. If your order was wrong, I gave you extra food. I remember one guy was like, yo, I didn't order this. I was like, yeah, I know, but for the inconvenience, I put it in there for extra. He's like, you didn't charge me, did you? I was like, no, why? That's extra work for me. Just take the food, man. He's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. I went, I don't know what the fuck these motherfuckers' problems is, really. And another grievance I have, charging for sauce. You pieces of shit. If you are a food establishment, fast food, and you charge for sauce, go fuck yourself. How much more money do you actually need? Trash.
I'll pull it. You keep talking.
I don't know what video that. But these fucking people, a lot of these people that work at these fast food restaurants, these fucks, literally.
Yo, me and him are the same person.
They give no shits. Not a care in the world. She's right. Nobody's like, hey, thank you. Have a nice day. Like, whatever. Nothing like that.
Go to Chick-fil-A, bro. Go to Chick-fil-A. They are forced to be nice to you. I remember one day I said, hello, welcome to Chick-fil-A. How may I serve you? She told me what she wanted. I was like, okay, this, blah, blah. Give her receipt. And I was like, okay, your order's going to be out in a couple minutes. And she's like, okay, thank you. And she goes and stands aside. The manager pulls me aside and he's like, hey, Edgar. I was like, what? He's like, so on the next one, you should do a little more smiling. I was like, what do you mean? I was like really nice to her. I've been nice to everybody. He's like, yeah, but on that last one, you didn't smile all that much, and we need to portray a friendly environment. And in the back of my head, I'm like, motherfucker, it's a chicken sandwich, man. Fuck the environment. But that's what he said. He's like, do a little more smiling next time you talk to it. So it's just like, hello, man. Welcome to Chick-fil-A. How may I serve you? Like, whatever, dog. What? I don't need you to be nice to me, man. Just give me my food, please.
Even when they fucked up this beautiful woman's order, right? Even when they fucked up her order, they're like, it didn't say anything. Didn't say got anything. Just dropped it off and left. Fucking cocksuckers. I hate fast food.
This is the greatest video that Geeks and Gamers has ever produced.
Oh, this one?
I want Fazoli's. Let's see if they get the wrong order for Ryan. Oh my god. Hope not.
Fuck!
Yeah, I love the twice baked lasagna.
God damn it! I've seen this clip before. I just never knew it came from this. I've seen so many YouTubers use this clip where it's just like, fuck! God damn it! And when I first saw that clip, I was like, huh, I wonder where the original comes from. He may have like a flat tire or was having like a really bad day. Maybe a hit and run. Maybe he got fired. Nah. Fazoli's didn't have what he needed. Oh, man. I've never been to Fazoli's, so I don't really even know what that place sells, but I'm guessing Ryan here really likes it, and it was enough for him to kind of lose his shit about it a little bit. Yeah. Kind of how I imagine that most of you fuckers addicted to Starbucks would lose your shit if your go-to Starbucks place took forever or didn't have what you needed. You get it every day, and then this day, they don't have it. And there's no other Starbucks nearby. I can imagine y'all would be just like this, really. At least some of the Starbucks fanaticals.
lasagna. That's what I'm gonna get with a side of pepperoni pizza, and I'm gonna get a dozen breadsticks. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay, that's a lasagna bacon meal with a pep slice and a dozen extra breadsticks. So that's what I get for you.
Oh man, I wasn't even talking. I didn't even know you were listening. Can I also do a side of marinara sauce? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're so excited.
We're getting Fazoli's, baby. They were listening to me.
You're so excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And there's utensils in there. Perfect.
Don't believe
Thanks.
him. Don't believe him. No, first mistake. First mistake of going through the drive-thru. Bro, I know that you don't want to hold up the line, and I know that someone might get mad, but fuck it. Open the bag. Don't put it in drive. Don't leave. Don't drive off. Open the bag. Napkins, utensils, sauce, and a straw. The amount of times I've gotten none of them fucking things and I drove off only to have to come back and ask these fuckers again. Ugh.
What do we got here? Is this a dozen breadsticks?
Uh-oh.
Oh, these... Nope. Nope. Dozen... I ordered a fucking dozen breadsticks, bro. You guys heard me, right? I ordered a dozen breadsticks. These motherfuckers don't even put it on there. You guys fucking heard it. We have it fucking live. Why does this happen to me?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine.
All right, we're not going to have a Taco Bell meltdown.
For reference, this is about, I don't know, what would you say, 3 or 4 weeks after I actually did have a meltdown at a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like screaming and throwing shit.
Yeah.
Like I was in the right 100%. But I was like, all right, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this on camera. There's no way.
Dude, I'm so glad Ryan exists because I really did think for the longest time that I was like the only like grown man-child that still got this upset about fast food not only not being fast, but just like at this point you don't even get food. I thought I was the only one that like this really did fuck with my mood and just like made me grip my teeth and shit, but
He's so mad.
Hi there. It's to go. I had done a drive-through order, and I guess they didn't put the dozen extra breadsticks in the marinara sauce. They got repeated back to me on the receipt, so I need a dozen breadsticks.
I love how he added that. That is a very subtle, passive-aggressive way of saying, I fucking told your dumbass piece of shit employees, and they heard me and still didn't do it. Even though it was repeated back to me, I would think that you motherfuckers would be smart enough.
It got repeated back.
It's always fun to like wait at the drive-thru and then wait here. Yeah, it's not your fault. I was talking to Fazoli's, wasn't I? I was talking to Fazoli's. I was telling you how much I love it. This is what I fucking get for being positive about one thing in my fucking life. Can I get...
It's so great.
Those dozen breadsticks in the sauce.
No good deed. No good deed,
This is after
man.
like they just kept like they would not do what I wanted them to do. It was just sitting there.
You're the only one here that gives a fuck, clearly. So thank you. Good luck getting your food.
So did you leave without it?
Fuck! God damn it! How fucking long does it take? Jesus fucking Christ! Fuck!
Look how dark
Now
it
we're
is
getting back on the fucking
I
road.
know it's dark.
Bro, how long did this take? It was daytime when you got here. And it's drive-through. Remember when a couple years back, it used to be a couple years back, I heard a joke and it went like this, and it was pretty on point. It went, we live in a world where your pizza order will get to your house before the police does. Nowadays, I feel like that's actually backwards. Nowadays, I feel like the police will get there before any of this shit happens. Fast food is no longer fast. Maybe we should change the name of it to just food. Because that whole fast thing, that's a lie. It used to be fast, I feel. But, you know what it is. I feel like it's a management problem. But
Daylight. No, it's not.
Because the management at Chick-fil-A, they will not stand for anything less than perfection. And at Chick-fil-A, you're not even allowed to say you're welcome. You have to say my pleasure. So that the customer knows that you genuinely enjoyed serving them. So, like,
We stop. I just wanted to stop and get Fazoli's. That's all I fucking wanted to do was stop and get Fazoli's because I love Fazoli's. And these stupid fucking pricks. Fuck! The fucked up part.
You want to know why I never throw a tantrum about going to the DMV? Guys, it's because it's the DMV. You already know what you're getting into. You're going to get there. The line's going to be long no matter how early you go. You're going to wait for ages. It's going to take forever. You already know this going in. To throw a tantrum at the DMV doesn't make any sense. Everyone is getting fucked at the DMV, right? Everyone's waiting ages at the DMV. No need to get mad. It's just like, fuck it. This is going to be a wasted day. I might as well just get over it now. Nothing I can do. But with fast food, bro, you absolutely can get mad, man, because this is so easy and it should be fast and it should be like, and there's just so much dog shit. There's so much dog shit. There's so many trash employees, so many trash establishments, and I don't know, man. It's just like, it's going to continue. I don't think it'll ever get better because people are too addicted to eating this food. People are too addicted to the lifestyle that fast food allows them to have, either on the go, not having to cook, saving money, not having to go to the grocery store. Sometimes people live a very, very go, go, go lifestyle to where they have to do the fast food. Otherwise, they go hungry, right? So in that case, these places, they don't give a fuck anymore. It's kind of like gasoline. Do you really care that the clerk called you a douchebag? You need gas, bro. It doesn't matter if the clerk is nice or not. You need gas at the end of the day. And I think that's how it is with fast food these days. It's become such an integrated part of daily life for some people that it's going to continue. And because that's the case, these CEOs and these managers and all these people, they don't give a fuck. They're like, we're not going to make it better. We're gonna hire garbage employees so we can pay them less. And we're still not going to get the ice cream machine fixed because people still buy our shit. I'm pretty sure if people started boycotting all these fucking places, that maybe they would get new management. Maybe they would get better employees. That's why Chick-fil-A mops the floor with just about everyone when it comes to customer service. Everybody. And on top of that, the food is stellar. So, it's like...
I know I'm gonna like it. I know it's gonna taste good. They fuck you in the drive-thru. They fuck you in the drive-thru. They fucking did. They fucked me in the drive-thru from the very fucking beginning. Joe Pesci knew. Fucking breadsticks.
Got your breadsticks though.
That's fucking good. Goddamn.
I think that he was upset that the breadsticks were good. He was in such a bad mood that he kind of almost wanted the breadsticks to be bad so that he could continue with his rant and feel justified. But now he's just like, I can't even keep complaining. The breadsticks are good. Fuck, I had so much more to say there.
God damn it. Fuck!
That was good,
That
dude.
is such a great video.
And the fact that he watched it back himself, just like reliving that, either the trauma or the PTSD or just the embarrassment of having a breakdown over over fast food, which I can't really judge you, bro, because I've been there. I've had a breakdown over fast food. I have. Because it's always something. It's always something. And I don't even understand. Like, I either don't get a straw, or silverware, or sauce, or napkin, or I just don't get the food, or I don't get the right food. Like, it's just like I order large, they give me a small. I order a burger and they give me nuggets. I order nuggets and they give me, like, it's just, there's no winning, man. There's no winning with fast food at all. And I remember a time where it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this. But I'm telling you, dude, unless it's Chick-fil-A, I would not do any fast food in the South. At all. It is the absolute most garbage. The most garbage. And you know, I could understand. I'd be willing to understand if it was a 17-year-old kid fucking my shit up. It's not! It's someone my age fucking up my order. And I'm not even talking shit to you because you're my age working fast food. Everyone, a job is a job, but I could understand if it was a young kid fucking my shit up. They're brand new. You're not. Get your shit together. I'm just like Ryan. I can't with it. I can't. Not even. Okay, Noelani. We're gonna watch this Angry Cops video, but first I'm gonna go smoke. So I'm just gonna so y'all don't have to sit in silence. Oh, I gotta update this. Oh, here it is. I don't know. I get so angry about it because I've done the job before. I've never built a bridge before. So if you built a bridge and it collapsed, I'd be like, well, that's kind of shitty, bro, but I mean, I can't really get all that upset because I don't know how to make a bridge. I'm not an engineer, nor am I a structural engineer. So, I mean, I could talk shit because you probably cost some people their lives and like destruction and stuff like that, but can I really be all that mad at the people that made it? Maybe this bridge lasted a long time before it collapsed, right? Can I really be all that mad that it did collapse? Can I really be mad at the architects and shit? Like, I've never done that before. I can be like, damn, that's shitty. Y'all fucking let that shit collapse and stuff like that, but like, I can't get too mad. I've never done it. I don't know how. It's not my area of expertise. And I have to imagine that building a bridge takes a lot of brains, smarts, time, money, effort, fucking materials, a whole bunch of shit that I can't do. So if you do it and fail, I will give you a little bit of leeway in your failure. Not fast food. I've done it before. It's brain dead easy. A monkey could do it. My 4-year-old niece could do it. You have no motherfucking excuse. I'm sorry. You just don't. Trash ass motherfuckers, man. Trash ass motherfuckers that want extra money for doing the same brain dead easy fucking work. For what? So I can order a double quarter pounder with large fries and a large sweet tea and you give me an ice cream cone instead? Blow it out your ass. Blow it out your ass. Okay. No, Alani, you can leave it on there. Okay, are y'all ready for the next one? Angry cops. Jesus.
One of the things about bad habits is often they happen in our lives because of boredom. The great thing about Fume is it's something to put into your hands that mimics the bad habit without the bad. Fume award-winning flavored air device. Hi.
Okay. This is by Angry Cops. By Economist Magazine. Well, the thumbnail said, veterans receive too many generous benefits, and then the title is, Stop Helping Disabled Veterans. So essentially, we get paid too much. I guess after the fact. Or maybe we get paid too much during. I definitely don't remember being able to afford a Lamborghini on active duty. And I definitely don't recall any of my friends leaving the service and being able to afford a Range Rover with their benefits that they get from the VA. So, yeah, we get benefits, imagine that. And we get paid for our service, which in my opinion, we don't even get paid all that much. And also in my opinion, I think we do the most important job in the nation, short of those that dedicate their life to stopping the trafficking of children. So, I mean, yeah. I believe they do deserve a little bit of compensation. I mean, why is it that most of the people that have ever been president, if not all of the people that have ever been president, they're millionaires. Yet for some reason, they still get $400,000 yearly every year after their presidency just because they were president. Why? We barely get shit, and we're the ones that actually go to combat. We're the ones that actually almost die. Why does the president get And I know, someone's going to say it. I know that Trump waived his fee, waived his payment, and I don't know what he did with it, but Trump opted to not receive that $400K. But every other president has. Most of them are already rich. Most of them are already millionaires, and you're giving them an additional $500,000 just because they were president? And you give us shit, and we're the ones that actually did all of the heavy lifting. Okay. How much is the job really worth for you? What do you think? What do you think makes what do you think has more value? A soldier or an actor? A soldier gets paid shit, and an actor gets $25 million. At least that's how much Jennifer Lawrence made. $25 million. Who donates more to society? The soldier that's going to spend the first 5 or 10 years of his life living paycheck to paycheck, maybe? Or the one goober that memorizes lines and gets paid millions for it? No one ever complains about how much money they make, but you're complaining about how much money we make? And we actually do more than they'll ever do, than they ever could do? We can live without entertainment. We can't live without the military. So, okay. Let's see.
I'm going to cut to the chase. The Economist put out this article, which really irritates.
I used to watch Geeks and Gamers all the time. Someone That was like the first time anyone's ever requested for me to watch something by Geeks and Gamers, but I did watch a lot of Geeks and Gamers back in the day, but again, kind of fell off a little bit simply because I just fell off of all the stuff that they covered. And at the time that I stopped watching, they were covering a lot of Marvel stuff, and I was like, I'm so fucking done with Marvel. Really? Like, I can't no more. So, like, naturally, like I said earlier, I watched less of Geeks and Gamers. Naturally, I watched less of The Quartering. Naturally, I watched less of a lot of channels that I used to watch a lot back in the day. And Geeks and Gamers was something that I really just watched on my own time. I never really anyways. America, okay.
Irritated me. Can you read that headline? American veterans now receive absurdly generous benefits. Forgive me, I didn't know that the disability benefits that veterans got were so egregious. And just
I didn't either. Here I was thinking that, you know, you could actually go for increasing some of the benefits that veterans get. Right? Maybe just a little bit. Maybe make it to where we can start having less and less homeless veterans, because there's quite a few, guys. There's quite a few. Shouldn't we try our best to get to a point where we have 0 homeless veterans? That shouldn't even be a thing. It's like an oxymoron. Those words don't even go together. They don't even make sense when you say it out loud. Homeless veteran.
Just by reading this title, you can guess the ridiculous filth that is written in the article. And before I break down this ridiculous, obscene article, let me just tell you the line it finishes with so you can better understand the journey we're about to take together. A lesson in learning, if you will. And I quote, America's veteran obsession has gone too far. Yes, the disability payments you get from getting blown up overseas is now an obsession that has gone, far too far in the eyes of this.
Someone really, really wanted to join the service and was denied. What was it, bro? Blind? Flat feet? Did you have a DUI last year or something? You got a... What you got? What's wrong with you? This just sounds like someone who really, really wanted to join the service and couldn't join the service. And now this person hates the service. Oh, man. Oh, man. Sounds like someone really wanted in the military and couldn't get in the military. And so now, military bad. All right.
Author, and we'll talk about him a little bit too. But before I blow your mind with some of the most insensitive, obscene, out of his own depth verbiage, literature, articles, dogs that is in this article. First, a word from this video's sponsor. I'm sure you're all aware that mainstream...
I'm excited because I'm almost pretty sure I'm correct. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm man enough to admit when I am. But I'm almost pretty sure I'm right. Somebody couldn't get into the service. Someone got denied from service. And hey, man, listen. It's not a bad thing to get denied from service. That's nothing to be ashamed of. The fact that you actually stood up on your own 2 feet and you walked into that recruiter's office with every intention on signing your life away, you'll get a round of applause from most of us veterans, but there's nothing to be ashamed of if you get denied from the service. But this is just what it seems like. Everything that I just heard, spoken like a person that tried, couldn't do it, and now is very angry and resentful about the fact.
media has a fairly liberal or right-leaning bias, depending on who you watch. And that fills our heads with inaccurate portrayals of like the military or policing. We've all seen the media skew specific stories in order to reach an agenda and alter the public's perception on law enforcement and military. Well, Ground News is here to cut all that BS out. It's an app and a website that balances.
Maybe that's why YouTube fucking hated me all that time ago, because I shattered that perception of fucking military that they have.
This is all of the world's
For us.
news. It exposes.
I'm gonna skip this.
I use. Head to groundnews.com/cops or scan my QR code and try them out today. Welcome back to this episode of Angry Cops, School's an Idiot. Just so we're on the same page, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read portions of this article, and then I'm going to describe how absolute batshit crazy it is, and try not to have my tiny pea brain explode from fury as I go through it with you. Are you ready, kids?
I was gonna say it. Aye, aye, Captain.
So my wife got me this weird new kitchen.
Good. Now, the first paragraph of this article talks about how Donald Trump is going to be president.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
And now he has a large following and is very supportive of the United States military. Okay, so far so good. It goes on to say that with Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk running DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, there could be a little bit of a butting of heads here, considering that the Department of Veteran Affairs is a significant portion of the budget. Huh. I wonder why the Department of Veteran Affairs takes up a significant portion of the budget. Let's hear from our author. The department's budget has surged over the past 2 decades, rising from $86 billion in today's dollars, then equivalent to 2.6% of the federal budget, in 2000 to $336 billion, 5% of today's budget this year being 2024. Let me just try and figure something out here. 2020, numbers are down. After 2020, numbers are up.
Could it have anything to do with the fact that, I don't know, we went to war with Iraq? Could it have anything to do with the fact that we went to war with Afghanistan? Or any of the number of conflicts that we had after 2000? We had conflicts before 2000, but they became increasingly more dangerous and volatile, and the environments changed, and the enemy changed, and just the world overall changed. Man, that's like, this is like you saying that mailmen make too much money. Mailmen, you know the guys in the little white trucks, the postal trucks that deliver your mail? That's like saying that they make too much money. Because back in 1945, the average mailman only made 37 cents. We're not living in those times anymore. That was a different time. The fuck? By that logic, we could all just tell Apple, listen, motherfuckers, back in 2000, your iPhone was only $300, and now it's $1,000. What's the problem? Times change. Your product gets bigger, it grows, it evolves, blah, blah, blah. You guys already know, but like, I don't. Yeah, this is going to be mind-breaking right here.
Did somebody forget that 9/11 happened? This guy forgot to say that, during the past 20 years, it's been 20 straight years of combat. Whether you...
Like, dog, we got invaded. We got invaded, and they knocked down 2 towers, and they killed over 3,000 people. That also happened in Pearl Harbor, too. But guess what? The shit stopped on 9/11. 9/11 was the last time that anyone would ever do that to this country. And we made sure to nip that shit in the butt in the form of defense spending. Bro, defense spending. And now more than ever, there's more people now more than ever that want to do harm to this country than there ever has been. You need military. You do. You put money towards the infrastructure. You put money towards the important things that you need to put money towards. But my question is, let's just say we do what this guy wants and we cut some spending and we start giving veterans less. Where's that money gonna go? I want to know his proposition. We cut some spending and start paying veterans less and we take away some benefits. Where is the money saved going? Where? And would it significantly help what it's going towards enough to justify ripping that away from veterans?
You were in Afghanistan, or if you were in Iraq, like some of us. But of course, this gentleman, I use that term loosely, doesn't say that the United States has been at war for 20 years, making its active component, reserve component, and National Guard component all deploy across the world. It now receives almost 3 times as much as the Department of Transportation. Remarkably, this boom has occurred despite a nearly 1/3 decline in the veteran population, which has fallen from 26 million to 18 million. Annual spending per veteran, as a consequence, has risen 6-fold. There could be a reason for that, and let me just give you my 2 cents. Okay? You remember World War II, when every able-bodied American in the country was...
You gotta be able to retain veterans. That's where I think he's gonna go. It's not like these times where you had so many people joining because they wanted to, because they were star-spangled awesome. There was a massive influx of soldiers. You didn't have to pay them that much. And back in these times, it wasn't much, right? But now there's less soldiers that are joining. Those numbers of recruitment are going down. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There's still wars to be fought. There's still this country to protect. So what do? You retain as many soldiers as you can by benefits or by pay or by increase in pay or by promotion or by stuff like that. Man, it's not like back in these times, look at all these dudes. Everyone was joining. That was it. You could probably afford to get away with paying them less before, during, and after. Because there was just so many. Now there's not as many. Maybe.
Was going to war for 3 or 4 or 5 years. I'm blanking on how long. 41 to 45, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, we've got Korea, and then Vietnam, which ended in 75. Let's just talk about those 3 wars real quick, all right? Everybody from those wars is dying.
Who the starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
We've got like nobody left from World War II. And once again, World War II was the entire country going to war, right? And now every single one of those guys, that massive population, is almost gone completely. Sad to say. Many of that generation fighting in Korea, and then, of course, the draft for Vietnam. So the last major conflict, I'm leaving out the Gulf War at the moment.
Because I was gonna say Desert Storm. Yeah, we're losing these veterans as time goes on, and naturally, people die, right? Because we don't live forever. But don't you want to preserve those veterans, really, for the most part, as long as possible? Make sure that they have a comfortable end of their life because of the service they provided. Because the service that you didn't provide, or couldn't, or wouldn't, or refused to?
From 1975 until now have all been slowly passing away. Unfortunately, but hey, that's the way the world is. We can't live forever. So with these massive volumes of troops that served overseas in the past now dwindling down, yeah, of course, those numbers are going to go down. And guess what? Although there might be less of us serving overseas, it's for 20 years. And get ready for this. There's no frontline war. Afghanistan and Iraq, there were no front lines. Everybody was getting blown up. So instead of just having World War II, Korea, and Vietnam guys having like a, hey, here's a line, we need to push for that line, everything behind that line, it's pretty chill. You want to have a beer on the weekend? No, not in Iraq and Afghanistan. Every truck driver, every gas person that was filling up and trying to distribute it across wherever was getting blown up. An IED just says to whom it may concern. It's not looking for frontline infantry.
Yeah, I had one mailed to me. It was, to whom it may concern is what it said.
So everybody's getting mortared. Everybody's getting blown up. Everybody's next to burn pits. We'll talk about that later. So what I'm trying to get at...
And the air the straight up toxicity of the fucking air in that country, which I don't even think they pay us for anymore.
Is a larger portion of the population that received benefits from those previous wars are now passing away. And a smaller portion has come in their stead during Iraq and Afghanistan, but a large population of that swell of people have been affected by the combat since there's no front lines. Different wars. Plus, you know what else could have caused that? The fact that not as many people are dying and that more of the injured are surviving.
That's or getting out. More people are getting out
Which most people would say is a good thing, right? Yeah. Far less dead, but far more wounded, which is a better trade-off than far more dead and far less wounded.
But with the wounded cost more money to take care of than the dead.
Do you know what I'm saying? So we're trading the massive amount of deaths for good combat casualty care and those surviving later on, although wounded or maybe permanently afflicted by their wounds. So two things. Large population in the past, passing away, no longer receiving benefits. Less veterans, however, more affected by combat because of one, the length, and two, the fact that there's no front lines, it's everywhere. Then we've got...
Which is why you look at wars like, especially Afghanistan. You'll notice something about stories that you hear from people in Afghanistan, from people that served in Afghanistan, and it goes something like this. Yeah, so we were driving down the street. We were driving through this village. We took some small arms fire in the village, returned fire, kept driving. That led to an ambush. IED went off, and we decided to say fuck it, and we just took off and repositioned, and then we stopped. We reestablished communication with one another, figured out what we were gonna do and stuff like that. By then they had caught up to us, so we just decided to fight them right there. We just didn't want to fight them in that village because it was just too small of an area. Didn't really want to deal with all the civilian shit and stuff like that. And then the person that's hearing the story says, "Oh, that's crazy, bro. What, 11 Bravo?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I was a cook." Yeah, that's Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, it really didn't matter what your MOS was. A cook... You could have been someone that worked. You could have had like a paperwork MOS. You could have been a cook. You could have had an MOS that would have had you inside of an office. But guess what? No one was off limits in Afghanistan. It did not matter your job. In previous wars, it was mainly the infantry guys that were getting fucked up. In Afghanistan, it did not matter your MOS. It really didn't. So,
hey, back then. You got shot, you could die of sepsis. Amputation isn't as clean as it is now. But trading that in for now where everybody's getting shot, everybody's getting blown up, but so many more people are surviving. Far less combat deaths.
With more combat deaths, you don't have to pay as much money. With more combat injuries, you have to increase that for the quality of life after their service. Why you don't want to take care of veterans after their service. And I'm not just saying that because I am a veteran. I'm just saying that I'm even putting myself in the shoes of a civilian. Why you would want to stop... bro, the protection of this country. I don't think you understand how paramount that is. Like, our Navy alone, bro. Our Navy alone could take over the entire goddamn planet. So, like, I mean, it really does boil down to how much do you think the protection of this nation is worth? And how much do you think we should appreciate those that provided that service? When only 1% of the population is even willing to do the service.
I started my degree in 1986. 30 years later, decided to complete my goals. Earning my degree.
We're just gonna mute that. Sorry. Yeah, that's true. Even Sparta did it. Sparta, they gave you like a piece. They gave you like your own plot of land, and you ruled over that land as like your own little god or whatever. After your service, you could retire to this land and work off the land and have your own, like, dude, back in Sparta, veterans were like millionaires. Back in those times, I think from like a historical video that I saw, back in those times, the Spartan veterans, after they were done fighting, they were set for life. They got their own land, they got their own little hut for them and their family and stuff like that. Not hut, but like their own little living space and shit like that. And they lived very well after their fighting days. That's... I don't know why I fucking paused that. I shouldn't have.
Continue. Between 2000 and 2004, such payments ballooned from $26 billion in today's prices to $159 billion. Last year alone saw a 17% jump. Once again,
you also are not accounting for, like, that's the, not only does that budget, I feel like that budget also takes into account the entire defense budget, because soldiers are a part of defense. It's not just the tanks and the big boats and the fancy ships. You need people to operate those fucking things. So, but those things also still cost money. You know how much a fucking F-35 costs? Millions. Somewhere in the ballpark of like $30 million. I could be wrong, give or take a couple. You know how much one of those aircraft carriers costs? Millions. Give or take a couple, can't remember the prices. Man. Like, we rock some expensive ass equipment. So it's not just the money that we're giving to active duty. It's not just the money that we're giving to veterans after their service. It's also the money that's being spent on the equipment that we use. Bro, we use expensive ass equipment. We're not a third world country, man. Like, we're not just like some random shit shack. Dude, there's a reason we're the strongest country in the world, and it's because of what we spend on defense. There's a reason we have legendary, iconic groups like SEAL Team 6 and Delta Force and Special Forces, and it's because of what we spend on defense. When are you gonna get it?
we're talking about pre 9/11 to post 9/11. Pre, the only war we had for like the past 30 years was the 4-day long Operation Desert Storm,
Iraq.
Desert Shield, Desert Saber. They're all put together in Desert Storm, Desert.
They are the Gulf War was similar. My dad was in the Gulf War and Desert Storm, and I forget the differences.
Saber was when we went in there with Stormy Norman Schwarzkopf and took over Iraq on the ground in 4 days. So anyway, from the end of Vietnam to 2000, right? Obviously low numbers, but then 20-year war, hello? Where Active Guard and Component are all together fighting overseas.
That's when you knew that shit was really crazy. When even National Guard was deploying overseas. Guys, most of the time, man, National Guard, there's a reason they're called national. Because it's for the nation. It's for America. National Guard, they're here for us. To hurricanes, tornadoes, aid, relief, riots, stuff like that, right? And you knew shit was really crazy back then when even National Guard and reservists were going to Afghanistan, were deploying to these places. Because those crazy times.
Sign up, you're going. Yeah. We're probably going to see a bump up in disability pensions. From 1960 to 2000, roughly 9% of veterans qualified for payments, typically for ailments such as hearing loss.
And this is the thing about, here's the thing though, I feel like it's pretty much evened out. Since it's been 24 years since 2000, right? So I feel that where the numbers are right now, they're either going to stay where they are, and if there is this increase, it'll be slight. Not until another major war will these numbers increase. So where they are right now, I feel like you should consider yourself lucky that they are where they are right now. They could be bigger. They could be higher. Right? But where the numbers are right now, given where we are geopolitically, those numbers won't change all that much. And if they do, it'll be so negligible that you may not even notice a difference in the change. Because we've been at these numbers for about a while now. Again, we're 24 years removed from the turn of the century. So these numbers are just going to be for a while, either until another major war or until the extended passage of time shows a notable change. So I guess just be happy it is what it is. It could be higher, man. We're no longer in Afghanistan. We're no longer doing anything really important aside from aiding Ukraine. So I think that the reason this person is saying these things is because we are no longer in a major conflict, and because we are no longer in a major conflict, we should stop giving money to disabled veterans, which doesn't make any sense. Because that in itself, if you stop giving benefits to disabled veterans, that would only make the recruitment rate plummet even more. Thus, this person's weird.
Officer Burns, once again, 1960 to 2000. The only things that happened in between there were Vietnam and the Gulf War, both much shorter than the 20 years that we had and weren't active component.
And we don't have that many Vietnam veterans around anymore, man. They're dwindling. They're dwindling. So to use them as an example for the spending, that's not fair. Because those veterans are all but almost gone, unfortunately. And a lot of Vietnam veterans, they did not live to be old ages. Really. Some did, but I want to say majority, dude. Anyways.
Guard and reserve all activated for those 20 years, deploying constantly, consistently, rotation after rotation after rotation. The department assigns a rating from 0 to 100% based on the severity of disabilities. And
remember back in the day when you went to war, here's another example of why what you're saying doesn't make any fucking sense, is because back in the day when you went to war, bro, there was one war. That's it. You deployed, and you did not come back until the war was over. That was the way it was. So basically, you had like a one-time thing of paying these veterans, a one-time thing of paying them after the fact, whereas in modern day, when I deployed, it was you deploy, you get a couple months off, and then you deploy again, and then you deploy again. Same war, but you're going back and back and back and back and back. And nothing's changed. Whereas back in the day, you didn't come back until it was legitimately over. Like, we ain't coming home till it's done, sweetie. Sorry. I'll dick you down when I get back. There was no leave for 6 months. Like Cops said, rotation after rotation. Had I not got out of the service when I did, if I was still in the service today, I'd be on deployment number 6. And you expect me not to want any kind of benefits after my service? Man, I already got physically and mentally fucked up from 2 deployments. Add 4 more? Because that's what it would have been had I stayed in the service. I had friends that stayed in the service. And one of them has 5 deployments. And he went into the military at the same time I did. I just did 2. Some of these guys have done 5, 6, and then you just want to say, all right, fuck you, you get nothing after all that. Where were you? What were you doing? You could have helped. You could have joined. You could have laced up the goddamn boots, but you didn't. And then now you're sitting here saying, oh, you don't deserve the work that I've never done.
2000, the average rating was 30%. Monthly payments averaged to the equivalent of $975 today. Few qualified for the top tier. Once again, 9% prior to 9/11, 30 years where the only wars were Vietnam and the Gulf War, a 4-day war. And then you compare that to the 20 years. This is going to be something that keeps popping up. He keeps trying to say, before 2000, we weren't paying nothing. And then now, all of a sudden, the past 20 years.
Because we had more soldiers getting fucked up after 2000 than we did before 2000. Why do you think that the appreciation for soldiers went up tenfold after 9/11? Is because people, especially us Americans, we realized that, oh shit. Like, I don't want to say that we took these guys for granted, but this is the first time that I'm actually realizing how much we actually need these guys and gals, how much we actually need their service, how much we actually need them to fight the fight that we can't, right? Like, that's where the appreciation went up tenfold. I mean, like, dude, there's been music, there's been movies, there's been portrayals, there's been soldiers that married celebrities simply because they were soldiers, and that's the status they had back then. Back in the early 2000s, bro, soldiers, I remember veterans were like rock stars. They really were. Like, I would just how I saw it, how I viewed it, how it was portrayed to me on TV and through the media or whatever. They were fucking rock stars, man. Really. And that's why people appreciate them, because they know what they do. It's only a motherfucker that doesn't know what a veteran has done or has to do that would say some shit like this.
Jeez, it's just the
Harry, what's up, man?
Fiscal irresponsibility of these veterans getting hurt. We're just a bunch of clumsy veterans falling into bullets. The modern program bears little resemblance to its original form. This year, 6 million veterans, or a third of the total, qualified for payments with an average monthly benefit of $2,200. Veterans may file claims for an unlimited number of disabilities and appeal against decisions as often as they wish. The average rating has climbed above 60%, and 1 in 4 disabled veterans now receives the once rare 100% rating. Here's where his arrogance comes through. Such a designation ensures a generous $4,000 monthly payment for life with no conditions attached. Starting at the age of 25, a former soldier could earn well over $2 million in present value terms. Let's break down those numbers, shall we? Numbers, we're gonna have numbers pop up here.
Come on.
I don't think so. That doesn't seem right. I was like,
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go outside and get the bearskin tactical.
Do math.
$4,000 a month for 100% disability, all right? We're gonna go for the max. Bing! That's $48,000 a year. You wanna know what the average median income is for a person in the United States? Single family? $41,000. Oh, making just above average. Okay. What about the household? Bing! $80,000. Huh. Little bit more than half of what a median household gets in America. Interesting. Do you want to know how much one singular Hellfire missile costs? Bing! $150,000.
I'm so glad I mentioned all that shit earlier, and I'm so glad that he's proving my point right here. Dude, what we spend on equipment alone dwarfs anything that we get as the actual soldiers, man. We're so expendable, it's not even funny. If we weren't expendable, you know how much we would get paid if we weren't expendable? If they actually cared about us? These prices? That's the military not giving a fuck about us right there, bro. That's what they deem appropriate. And guess what? The military is always going to deem the lowest bidding type shit appropriate. Imagine if we weren't expendable. Imagine if they did care. Imagine if we weren't just a number or a roster, right? That would be triple. Really. Because the military is very, very stingy on what they give you before, during, and after your service, man. Because at the end of the day, you're just a number. That's
household. Bing! $80,000. It's in fire missile costs. Bing! $150,000.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we fired a lot of those.
Millions
Just
of dollars.
in November of 2001, when Afghanistan was just starting, the CIA fired 40 from a drone. Just zoom, 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 zoom. Hey, there's a target. Zoom. Hey, there's a target. Zoom. Just like that. $6 million. Bam. Done. Gone. And that was in a month of just CIA guys. And
I wonder how much the military charges, or I wonder how much the military pays for 5.56, 7.62, and 50 caliber ammo. Whatever the price is, multiply that by me with the 50 and my personal weapon and one of the saw gunners going black on ammo. How much money is that? I would venture to say that's a lot of money. That's a lot. That's quite a chunk of change for, I don't know, less than 3 hours of work for the most part. Just wondering, man, like, because like, I'm saying that because this dude's really getting caught up on the money. He's really getting caught up in money, and it's just like, okay, well, you want to talk about money? I mean, bro, when I was stationed at Fort Stewart, we would go to the range, and we would zero, we would qualify, and you know what we would do at the end of the day? Any leftover ammo, boom, gone. We would just waste it. Down range, shoot it, go ahead, waste all of it, fucking hold the trigger, let it go, boom, go, done. We'd fire everything. You know how much we could have saved that ammo, but the ammo's already been paid for, dog. Like, so I don't know, man, you're getting caught up on money, and we spend the amount of money we spend on defense, the amount of money we spend on soldiers after their service is not even a drop from the drop that's going into the bucket of defense. So, like, you, my friend, are focused on the wrong things.
Delta, Rangers, and Special Forces cats in Afghanistan. That's not counting when we actually had normal line units and support elements there. So in 30 days, before...
Not to mention the Reaper drones, you know how much money it costs to get those in the air, you know how much money it costs to keep those in the air. The drones, the C-130s, the C-17s, the cargo planes, the F-22s, the F-16s, the F-35s, the Abrams, the Bradleys, the ordnance that they shoot, javelins, fucking JDAMs. I mean, we're talking about what I just mentioned, guys, is north of $400 million worth of stuff. Easy. And this guy is losing his mind over $2,200. All right.
More troops were really in Afghanistan. We fired 40 of them. Now, just imagine how those numbers might go up, especially after we got into Iraq. But let's backtrack a little bit. Let's look at the wording for in this paragraph real quick. Veterans may file claims for an unlimited number of disabilities.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I'm in the process of like doing. My lawyers are in the process of doing VA stuff right now. So I may have access to VA in the future. But because I haven't had VA since I left the service. But I don't think that's true. An unlimited number of disabilities?
Oh no! We can file claims for all of that affected us overseas. Not a limited amount. Oh, sorry, did you lose your leg on a Friday? No, that's no good here. Not in America. Doesn't matter which day you lose your leg. Unlimited numbers of disabilities. Like, that's a bad thing. Yeah, man. If something bad happened to me and I can prove it.
Or maybe it does work that way, but unlimited. I want to say there's some stipulations to that, like, I don't know, man. Like, if you had a problem before you joined the service, but the military still lets you in, can you claim that problem for VA? I'm thinking of stuff like that. Like, I think unlimited, and I think of like someone going in there and like saying some absolute wild shit. Really, I don't know. But then at the end of it, you still have to prove it to the VA. The VA is not just going to take you at your word, but yeah, okay.
Overseas, and it disabled me. It created some sort of issue where I'll never be able to get back to 100% again. Yeah, I think I should be able to claim that. How dare the injured demand compensation? Why has this happened? From 2001, the department began to broaden its list of presumptive conditions, where officials automatically assume the problem is service-related to include ailments such as type 2 diabetes, allowing any veteran with the disease to qualify for compensation. Okay, some fakers in there. I think I got...
That's what I said, right? Like, yeah, you can't... That's why I was gonna call bullshit on the whole unlimited thing, because you can't just go in there like with something that there's no possible way you could have received this kind of condition from combat, like diabetes. Come on, bro. I get that type of shit. That's not unlimited. That's weird. Yeah.
Got affected by a burn pit. Well, okay, Navy guy, how did you get affected by a burn pit? You were on a ship. Well, I passed through this area, and there's verbiage stating that if you served in this area, you could be affected by burn pits. So I was affected by a burn pit.
That's like we had a guy that worked on the FOB, and he never left. He just stayed in operations the whole time and was demanding a combat action badge because a JDAM was dropped somewhere in the area. It rocked our FOB. It shook the whole fucking universe for us. But he wanted a combat action badge because that JDAM. And we were like, dog, we dropped that JDAM. Like, America dropped that JDAM. Why would you get a combat action badge? He's like, well, because there was combat in the area. I'm like, no, jackass. You have to get engaged by the enemy, and then you have to engage back. That's how you get a combat action badge. You don't just get it because Air Force dropped ordnance, like, somewhere nearby. Like, what are you talking about? So,
oh, this guy's playing the system. Yeah, there's that. There are those people out there, but let's not pretend like that's the major.
That's not the overarching. That's not the overall of people that do VA. People go to VA because they genuinely need VA, and they're going to use VA and take advantage of it, and just get help. It helps. If not with anything mental or physical, at least monetarily. It helps veterans, especially the homeless ones.
Issue as to why people are claiming their disability benefits. And the reason I know that this author doesn't give about veterans or whether or not they deserve it or don't is this next line here. The reasoning for such expansion is not always robust. For instance, a department-funded study found only limited evidence linking herbicide exposure in Vietnam to type 2 diabetes. I'm gonna say that again. Limited evidence linked.
So no evidence at all. You just read or heard about some bullshit and decided to try to pass it on as fact.
Linking herbicide exposure in Vietnam. He's talking about Agent Orange. Agent Orange took years for the VA, the United States government, to finally say, oh, yeah, I guess that thing that took all the foliage off of trees, ripped all the hair off of your legs, gave you boils, and I guess maybe that's our bad, and we might have to pay you for it.
When my second tour, they all called us into this office, and they all gave us these memorandums that stated that we needed. It was this memo. Had our name on it, and it was addressed to us, and it had like the Secretary of State's signature on the bottom of it, and they were like, you need to keep this memo for after your service. When you go claim your VA, you provide this memo. And the memo essentially stated that we could get an extra percentage added to our claim because of the toxic air that was in Afghanistan. Toxic as fuck. It said the toxins that were in the air in the memo, I just can't remember what they were, but it was like this provides a hazardous working environment for the inhabitants and shit like that, and yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what that was. I have since lost that memo. I think it would fucking matter. I don't really think I should need the memo. I think that the fact that I was over there during the said years should be enough of proof. I don't think I should have to have that memo whenever I go claim VA. Whenever that happens, it'll probably be sometime like next year, or the year after. It really is a slow process when you do stuff with lawyers. But
right now. Oh, cancers too? Jeez, what are you just gonna claim unlimited things for your benefits? This to quit. You know what? I haven't done it in a while. Communism, communism, communism.
You must try this black pepper trick that's making men almost double their rod size in a couple of weeks. This might sound weird, but your girlfriend or wife will...
Stupid.
I'm sorry, are you trying to downplay Agent Orange by referring to it as an herbicide and hoping nobody's going to catch on to what you're actually doing? Like, don't get me wrong, I know what you're going to say. You're going to be like, oh, well, you know, technically it is in fact an herbicide. Yeah, I get it. Also, technically, you could refer to the atomic bomb as a f***ing space heater and then claim that Japan is really upset and they lost the war because they had a brief temperature increase in 1940.
I think, dude, it went over my head, but I got it. I got it. Angry Cops, he summoned Fat Electrician by saying communism 3 times. Like fucking Beetlejuice. If you, dude, go in your bathroom right now, turn all the lights off, spin in circles 3 times, say communism 3 times in a row, and Fat Electrician shows up right behind you. That's fact. It's fact. It really does happen that way.
But you'd be a dishonest if that's what you did, right? Hey, newsflash, Agent Orange isn't just an herbicide. It's also extremely...
This is like the best cameo I've seen since Chris Evans did the Human Torch in Deadpool.
Toxic to humans, and those toxins stay in your body for the rest of your life, okay? It's linked to like 9 different types of cancer. It causes Parkinson's disease, hormonal imbalances, infertility, and then if you are lucky enough to have kids, they're at a much greater risk of having birth defects. Saying that a veteran that was exposed to Agent Orange doesn't deserve his disability benefits and then playing it off like he's a complaining that he got Roundup on his pants is one of the most disingenuous things I've ever heard of a journalist or a publication doing ever, and that's a pretty high bar. Seriously, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about burn pits. I'm sure it's something along the lines of, oh, veterans got to sit around a campfire and roast marshmallows, and now they're...
No, a lot of burn pits. Not to mention, a big portion of Afghanistan was on fire. Like, the amount of, like, burned cars, the amount of just burned stuff, the amount of just, like, burnt shit that we drove past or just drove through or just like we're just around and shit like that was astronomical. Bro, I drove through a part of Afghanistan one time where at first I thought we were driving with at first I thought that there was mountains on the side of me. I was like, wow. I was like, this is a very narrow place for there to be mountains for this road. I can't believe they would have put this road here. Only to realize after closer inspection, looking left and right, that it's not a mountain. It's trash. Trash. Piled up 20, 30, 40 feet high. Trash. And on this side and on this side. And my truck is right here. Guys, it smelled so bad. I had like half my body sticks out of the truck when I'm as the turret gunner. It smelled so bad. I had to get back in the truck. I had to get back in the truck. It was bad. It was awful. And I get back in and my AG's looking at me. He's like, dereliction of duty, I see, huh? I was like, nah, dog. You don't understand. I was like, get up there. Get up there. Just see. He gets up there. He's like, oh, okay. I understand. And I was just kidding. It was awful. It was fucking awful. I'm pretty sure I could have taken off my boot and put my face inside of my boot and it would have smelled better than it did outside. It was gagging inducing, and I don't have a weak stomach, man.
They're complaining about headaches and think that they should get disability for the rest of their lives. It has nothing to do with all of the fun cancer.
Thank you, Nicholas. I needed a break. Felt like I was taking
Crazy pills!
In 2022, President Joe Biden's PACT Act expanded eligibility further with illnesses such as asthma and chronic I don't even know how to say that word.
Rhinitis.
Gaining approval, as some soldiers had picked up conditions from quote-unquote burn pits in Afghanistan and Iraq. Yes! Burn pit exposure is kind of a big deal. You want to...
Not to mention, the soldiers, especially the soldiers that were in Iraq, all that time, all that exposure to those, to all of those, I saw footage, especially in Iraq, exposure to all of that shit from all those oil rigs that had been destroyed. Y'all remember seeing footage of Iraq and it was just nothing but like burning, smoking, like little oil refineries. It was like, they weren't like massively big or anything, but they were like a decent size and they were like all over the place. They were spread out right and they were like all smoking and on fire and just toxic and just like oil fumes, just basically covering the whole country, essentially. And they were operating in that, just breathing that in all the time.
know why? Because it gave people a whole bunch of disgusting, freaky-ish little...
It's like, a lot of the shit that you breathe in over there, it damn near is almost the equivalent to just like walking outside, starting your car, and just putting your mouth on the tailpipe and just inhaling. Not that severe, not that insane, but it's damn near that.
Little cancers and stuff because of all the that we were burning. Human diesel fuel, all the freaking spent rounds and some sort of, you know, radioactive material that we came upon. Ugh. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Burn pits are our Agent Orange. Yeah, it's not raining down from the sky on us from jet planes that we're doing to ourselves, but we're doing it to ourselves by burning a bunch of this shit because it's the only way to get rid of it. And now we're all just...
Oh, dude, and extended exposure to JP8? I didn't really have to deal with that too much. I mean, I did go to the fuel point a lot, but...
breathing in all the toxic fumes. One of the burn pits on the post that I used to be on in northern Iraq called Kirkuk Air Base was bigger than a football field. Can't wait to see how that affected me. Once on the payroll, veterans usually remain beneficiaries for life. The stigma around collecting payments has faded in recent decades. I mean, that's a good thing. We shouldn't have a negative stigma for being injured and then requesting assistance for that injury that we sustained overseas in combat. Why does he make this seem like it's a dirty thing? Oh, they're not ashamed of it anymore, so now they're all going for the thing that they deserve. Gross. It's common for veterans to start on the program at 50% disability rating for, say, sleep apnea linked to service stress, only to then add more disabilities and have the rating increase to 100% within a few years. I like how he says only to add more disabilities. Listen, dickhead, a lot of veterans, including myself, go in with the that we know we can prove. Boom! Yes. Just get the process started. Hey, here's your percentage of disability. There it is. You want to add more on later? Totally fine. We've got you in the system for at least the bare bones stuff that you need. Let's move on. It's a program that helps a lot of people who deserve it, but getting on the program becomes an escalator to higher disability ratings and compensation, says Mark Dugan of Stanford University. Once you qualify, you have an incentive not to get better. First of all, it's not an escalator. You have a disability and it qualifies or it doesn't. You get in there.
PTSD also qualifies as something that you can claim on for VA. Sometimes PTSD stays there forever, dog. Hence why they have these benefits for life. You can't just like this isn't like a 12-step program for